Hello everyone. I hope you guys are well. So yesterday when we were talking about globalization and idea creation and those type of examples which you guys were sharing, if we reflect on that, one thing which came multiple times was the culture, the cultural aspects. Uh, of an individual, of society, of cities, of countries. Those type of things came multiple times, if you can recall. So today we would want to start with talking about culture. Yeah. So that is what we are maybe going to going to do for next maybe 1 hour or something like that. So culture in business. Um Culture in terms of understanding what products you are going to offer in international trade. Maybe, for example, you guys mentioned changing taste a little bit while looking at the target market, something like that, maybe. So, as we are thinking about that, I would want to hear from you guys. What do you think about this? So, culture in business. What do you guys think? Why do you think it is important to understand culture when we are trying to think about international business, international trade? What is the significance of understanding cultural practices, the way people do things in your target location, target market? What can be some of the disadvantages if we do not look at those things? Can you share some examples of any businesses which did not take care of the cultural practices of a place, and then they were not able to do well in that market or whatever? Based on your own experiences when you have traveled for maybe your exchange, or you did some internship or any type of travel. Yesterday some of you mentioned some examples about traveling, how it is linked with the international business, idea creation, globalization, all those type of things. So you can talk about that also. So the fundamental question here is that, what how would you define culture? What is your understanding? What is culture? And we are not talking about any definition from the books or something like that. Just we are trying to have some discussion based on your past understanding, that how do you view culture? Do you think it is important to understand it in terms of international business or just business in itself? Or do you think that no, it's not that important, maybe something else is important, and you would want to think about that instead of culture? And within culture, uh, what are the areas which are maybe more important? Is it the language? Is it the, for example, yesterday you guys were talking about some ethical examples you guys were giving. You guys were talking about Nestle and those type of companies, and so you are talking about laws, labor laws. You also mentioned, I think, child labor and stuff like that. So quite an interesting discussion was there yesterday. So try to think about what is culture, why it is important, what are the advantages of understanding is, what can be some of the disadvantages, but try to link it with some practical examples. Yeah, that is what we are trying to do. So maybe from your own life you can think about examples when you took time to understand the culture of some place, and it helped you to be successful or whatever. That is also fine. You can talk about that also. So it is not just business related. It's like your own experiences. And then if you can think about in your community, in your city, from the country you are coming from, you can talk about things also. Maybe some international product came in your country and they did not do well because they did not understand what your place really requires. Yeah. So I can share, to get started. I can share a couple of examples before you do. So for example, let me talk about Jamaica. Yeah. So I'm trying to link it from the examples you gave yesterday. So a couple of you guys mentioned McDonald's and what were their strategies in countries like maybe Vietnam and Asian countries you guys were talking about. So and you guys were saying that they quite successfully they were able to do it. So let me share this with you that yes, McDonald's is international business, international trade, very successful. Almost all over the world they are present, but they are not in Jamaica. McDonald's are not in Jamaica, and they tried to come in this market, and they opened their franchise and everything, and they launched the business, and they were not successful in this market. Yeah, what were some of the reasons? There were many reasons. Couple of them were the size of the meal. The size of the meal. So Jamaicans, generally speaking, they like the size of the meal big. Yeah, they don't like small burgers. They like big, big burgers. That is what they like. But at the time McDonald's launched themselves in Jamaica, they came with their smaller size burgers. Yeah, and they did not make the adjustments which might have required in terms of taste also. So McDonald's, international business, very successful, all over the world. But when they came in Jamaica, they had to leave the market, and it has happened many years ago now. You can run a Google search, McDonald's Jamaica failure to start the business. Just run a search and just spend like 2, 3, 5 minutes, and you will understand what were the problems. Now look at this. McDonald's, a very big business, international business. They have smart people working for them. They know these type of things which we were talking yesterday and which we will talk today, and whatever we will say during the semester. Sure that McDonald's know these type of things, but still when they launched their business in Jamaica, they had to go out, and they had to go out in a way that they did not come back. Yeah. So who made it? Other big giants competitors made it in Jamaica. So for example, KFC. KFC is a big success in Jamaica, because what they did, they they catered the taste of the local consumer the way they like it, and they made the size of their offering bigger with the same standard price. Yeah, this is what they did. And other companies are also doing well. For example, Burger King and stuff like that. The success KFC enjoyed in Jamaica was and is phenomenal. Yeah. So and furthermore, when Jamaicans go to foreign countries, other countries, when they go there and they try KFC in those markets, they miss home. They miss Jamaica KFC, because they say that the taste is not good in the international market. Yeah. So that means that they did made some changes in their offering in Jamaica. Yeah. The taste is so much different that the people in Jamaicans who live in US, for example, and this is funny part, when relatives would be visiting them, they would ask them to bring KFC. This is how it is. Yeah. So that is quite funny. So think about this. So this is I wanted to share this example because you guys mentioned McDonald's and these type of things yesterday. So I said let me share that with you. But you need to share your own examples from your experiences, and please be vocal. All of you, if you can participate, because all of you have something to say, and together I think we will learn more. Participate without worrying about the evaluation or scores or anything. Don't worry about those things. you will be fine. uh, but just say something, and don't worry about what would be the outcome. Just share your ideas, opinions, and so on. Yeah, so over to you guys, please go ahead.
So what I wanted to share was actually not about international culture, but a culture of the company where I used to work at. And what I found really cool that like we had always like a 1 hour break. It was quite long, and so after we ate together in the cafeteria, we all like had a walk around the company and in this area. And this was really a thing to do. Everybody knew it and everybody joined. I mean, everyone could have done anything, but it was really a thing to have a walk together. And sometimes people even brought their skateboard when weather was good, and just yeah, had fun outside because they had to do like the 1 hour break anyway. And I kind of figured out that that was the culture of the company, that that was part of it. Yeah.
Which company is that, Alyssa?
It's not a big company. It's here in Germany. They sell hair accessories and stuff like that, and beauty
Okay.
stuff.
Do they have a website? I'm sure they have.
Yes.
Yeah, can you paste the website in the chat, please?
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, beautiful. So tell us what how was it like? 1 hour break, and you guys are hanging out, and what how do you view that? Because how long you worked there, and tell us more about it. This is very interesting. 1 hour break, and well, tell us, like, to create a picture. How was the what? How big was the place where you would hang out? What were the activities happening? Just try to paint a picture, because we did not see it. You have seen it, so from your words, we will be able to visualize the place, maybe.
So we were like 400 employees, I think, but I was working in HR, so I kind of basically knew everyone. And I really liked my colleagues, so it was always set whatever, like we didn't discuss it, but it was clear we would spend like the break together. And then sometimes we would ask like via email other people, hey, do you want to join today, or how about we have some ice cream somewhere else? And then because it was like at in this, like not in the city center, but like at the edge, so it was kind of like more industrial but more space for like bigger companies and not much traffic, so we could just walk on the side way and have a chat. And sometimes we would plan that we go out with people from marketing because we don't really see them much, they're on a different level. Or sometimes it was just HR and controlling together. And yeah, so it was really like friendly and more informal, and there were a lot of friendships also in the company. Yeah.
Oh, excellent. What were some of the negatives of this, if you had to think? Like, of course, these are very good. I'm loving the example, and I'm sure other friends who are listening to you, they are also loving. But because you are coming from HR, if you have to think that, what can be some of the negatives for that? Because think about it, there might be some personality who don't really like to hang out or mingle, how they would be viewed, or anything, in terms of were there any negatives, or you did not observe any negative? You saw it as
And
a
what, because like the company was a medium sized company and only 400 employees, it was like a lot of gossip, especially in HR, because like we knew first when something changed, when someone was pregnant, when someone got fired. And yeah, there was indeed a lot of gossip, which sometimes was like, okay, that's a little bit too much. But that was because of the size of the company, I guess. But yeah, which on the other hand means if it's smaller, it's more family-like. Sometimes it can be really anonymous to work in those big companies, those corporate companies. So yeah, it always has, every aspect has its downside and its advantage. But yeah, that was maybe like a con, I'd say.
Mm. Are you still working there, or you left?
Yeah, I'm soon having my last day because I'm gonna start my internship at the end of July. So yeah, I'm kind of sad, but I'm also looking forward to experience something new in a new company, new environment.
Hmm. What is the last thing I want to ask maybe? What is the best memory you had created from that company? Your work there. What is the if you look back? Oh, that was the best thing. I really. What was that? Inside or in the break or anything? Overall working experience. What is the best memory you had?
I think, according to what I've learned, I really liked that they also took me to like interviews of people who applied there, because I was basically just listening to them and still earning, I don't know, 12 euros an hour. And I didn't really make any effort for them, but they still took me there. They were like, yeah, we want to show you, we want to like, yeah, give you some knowledge so you know how those interviews work, what we ask, what we are looking for. And this was really like, I was appreciating it so much that they were actually saying, oh, we have 4 interviews this week and you can join all of them. I was like, yeah, amazing. Because I learned so much about it, and it also helped me in my in my interviews. So yeah, I really appreciated that.
That is maybe that is one of the reasons you are very good in answering questions.
Thanks.
Very good, Elisa. So, guys, you heard this little chat we had with our friend Elisa, and think about this. The company is giving long break. People are going to hang out, and Elisa said that it's a possibility she will miss the place also. But yes, you have to gain new experience, and after the internship, after a couple of years having other experiences, she can if she wants to go back, she can always go back and see. But think about this, the vibes this type of experience create, because see how we were not able to see Elisa, but could not you hear the joy in her voice, and how upbeat she was when she was talking about her company. And we also asked her to give us the link for the company. So that is for you guys to explore the company. If you that is maybe a growing company, it's a small company, so uh, maybe spend some time in the company. Why not just do a small stint, and it's just send your application and see what they say. And Elisa is there. Elisa is your source. She was working in HR. Send her a message and ask her, how to prepare my application and stuff like that. She's going to give you some tips and something like that, and you can go and work there for a short period of time and see how that feels like. How a 1 hour break where people are gossiping and talking about different things, how that feels. It's a good experience to have, and you can leave if that is not for you. You can leave after a while. That's not a big problem. But what is important that to have that type of experience, because this type of thing is and especially because it is a smaller size company, it would be I think it would be a good experience for you guys, because the in the bigger, as the companies become bigger and bigger and bigger, uh, mm, if they would give something like that, it might not be as fun as this one sounds. But this just an idea. You should look into this, and also link it with the how it would impact the moral, and the uh, on the employees and stuff like that. And what I was trying to say earlier is, did you hear the joy in the voice of Elisa? Of course you did. So uh, think about it. Whenever she's going to speak about culture, this is one of the examples she will be giving for the rest of her life, maybe, uh, because it is one of our first experiences while as undergrad students. And think about that. Uh, think about this. She shared the website of the company. If our experience was not good in terms of culture, she would not have mentioned this company. She would not have shared the web link of this company. And look at this, how far this link is going to go. Don't you think that when I'm going to talk about culture in maybe in university, don't you think I'm going to share this link with them and tell them that this is what they are doing? What do you think? Surely I will. So how far this is going? This is a small company, 400 employees. And when I'm going to talk about culture, I'm going to talk about this company. So if 100 people are sitting in my session in Jamaica, see where it has gone. And see where this is, even one or two people from 40, if they, if they go and work, all of you don't have to work there. Maybe one person will work, maybe two will work, maybe three will apply, something like that. But if they get selected and they go there and they work, they start working there, and they like this, whatever Elisa has shared, see how far this the impact of this experience can go. So think about that, Elisa. Thanks very much for sharing that intimate example. We really liked it. Please.
So yeah, I wanted to talk about why culture is important in the international business, in my opinion, first, and then I would like to give an example. So I think that intercultural business is actually like a human transaction, and that it has to do a lot with communication and establishing relationships. And so when you understand the culture, or you want to understand the culture that the other person belongs to, you're making negotiations with and stuff. This is an important part for communicating pretty well. So just as the culture actually shapes personality and like character traits, and it just makes it easier when you're open-minded towards the other partner and embrace the culture. And it can even lead to failure. An example would be here, like Walmart in Germany. So they've actually failed and then withdraw from the market. I don't know when exactly. I think it was 2005, 6 or something like this. And like they failed to take the preferred habits of the German consumers into consideration. For example, when they designed the stores, so they can, in America, they did it the way that they navigate the shoppers through the whole store, and so you spend a lot of time in the standard store, and this is actually not what is appropriate in Germany. Like Germans like to do things quite quick instead of wasting time. This is kind of like part of their culture. And this is a point why they failed, I guess. I don't know if it's the only reason, but it's for sure a reason.
Very, very interesting. Very interesting. So please, guys, look into this example, Walmart, and the culture of maybe this is, if you this is like commonly known that Germans would want to do things faster, and they maybe small talk is not something which generally speaking they would do. But that is not true based on my experience. If you really talk, you have to, if you want to talk, you have to put some energy, maybe a little bit more energy, and eventually they will respond. And but the point here which Annabelle is making is Walmart, and how they were not able to make into the German market at that time. What were the issues? So please run some Google search, try to understand more, read a little bit about that, read generally about Walmart, in which countries they were able to, because it is international, big international business. So try to figure it out, which countries they were successful and which countries they were not. And you can do this with any company, any international business of your choice. Because let me say this to you, that no matter what the business is in the world, no matter which international business it is, no matter it is how big it is, Apple, Samsung, any company, you can think about any company of your choice, and when you will try to run a little search, you will find out that that company has failed in some countries. So there is no international business in the world, none, no, not even one, which has been successful in all the markets wherever they enter for all of their products. It is not the case. So in some markets, companies make it. In many markets, they don't make it. In some products, they make it. In many products, they don't make it. But because they are big companies, so when they make it, even in couple of products, because they are big and they are in so many countries, so they will be able to sell more. That is how they are able to make money. But there is no company in the world which has been successful, equally successful in all the markets. That is not the case. And this tells us also, in our life also, there will be things where we would not be successful. Yeah. So in all spheres of our life, it's not possible that someone is, even the most successful people, this goes true for people also, that even the most successful people, you see, whoever they are, it don't have to be some academics or something like that, or it's nothing to do with studies. Generally speaking, any businessman, any celebrity, sports star, music star, whoever they are, you would see that there are some areas in their life where they are not successful. Yeah. So there is no human being who is successful in all the areas in their life. uh, Same for the companies. There are no companies which are successful in all the products they launch. This is not how it works. So this also gives us a little bit of a motivation that we will try different things. Just like so you guys mentioned in yesterday's discussion conversation about ideas. Yes. So you guys mentioned that you have ideas. You try it and see what happens. Uh, the mistakes you make, you try to improve them a little bit, and then over a period of time you understand what is happening. Same is for culture. You might have an understanding of a culture, like our friend mentioned, German culture is like this. He tried to explain it, but you can only know it when you go there. When you will go there, you will launch your product and see what is happening based on your target people, the people you are targeting. And in yesterday's conversation, Sebastian, for example, mentioned that even within the country there can be different styles of cultures because people are coming from all over different places. That type of conversation you can link with that. Very good example. Another thing which mentioned, and I want you to make note of that. She tried to link culture with negotiations, with conflict resolution, because think about this: conflicts are going to happen. Wherever two people are going to come into contact, there will be conflicts because everyone has their own way of doing things. Yeah. So uh, especially if they are smart people, especially if they are intelligent, creative, that type of thing, they have that type of spirit. If they are just in a relaxed mood, then they might not try to have conflict, because they will say, all right, you can do it the way you want. But if they are really goal oriented and that type of personalities, and they are ambitious, they would have the ideas, they would have belief in them, and then you are working in a team or whatever. They would push for their ideas, you will push for your ideas, then there will be a conflict. Then your leader, for example, I think Anna mentioned about leadership in yesterday's session. She said at the end of the day, leader is going to be very important. Of course, that was a good point, because they are going to be deciding which way to take, and the way, the idea which is rejected, how to comfort that person that yes, your idea was good, but we are not taking it at this point of time because of these reasons, because you want to keep motivated those people also. So very beautifully our friend has linked culture with the conflict. How conflict is resolved in different cultures, that is very different. Try to get it with your own experience. If you are traveling, so for example, you are coming from your country, you have your own way of dealing with conflict. Do you voice your conflict? How hard you voice your conflict? If there is someone in the authority, how far you go against them in the conflict? That is all. It's cultural. It is cultural. A lot of this has to be cultural. Uh, so how you would resolve the problems or issues, that has a lot to do what has been your culture. And culture is also like, as you are growing up, when you are growing up, you are seeing your elders around you, your parents, guardians, elder brothers, sisters, whoever you are growing, uncles, aunts, whoever you are growing up with. So of course there must be some conflicts in the home. It's not possible that there is everything is like fine there. One person say, let's do it like this, other person, let's do it like this. And as a child, you are observing that how they are resolving the conflict. It's not a conflict, but still it is a, we can call it conflict just for our conversation ease. So how would they resolve it? So you are learning from that how, if they were shouting and resolving it, then maybe you thought that that is the way to shout. If they were just not talking for a couple of days when the conflict is there, then maybe you thought that that is the right way. So your environment kind of shapes you. And this is very funny because by the time our environment has shaped us, and by the time we realize that this has happened, it is kind of, we are like grown up now. So our habits are shaped already, and all of these things we take them in our wherever we go in international business or something else, wherever we take those. So please think about these examples. But most importantly, the most important part in all of this is, please run a search on Walmart and find out which countries they were successful, why they were successful there, which countries they were not successful, why they were not successful there. This is what you should be doing. And I has given you example of Germany, that back in the day they were not successful. So you can start from there and watch some maybe YouTube clips on this, that why, what is the people who are concerned, the people in this for Wall, or any other company of your choice. That does not matter. Any other company also. You don't have to look at Walmart. Any other company, you can look into that also. Yes. Next one, please.
Yes, I would just like to mention an example that I experienced myself in the last semester when I was abroad, because I thought when I meet people like in the kitchen or somewhere, then we can have a talk or chit chat or something like that. But there was a situation when I just came out of the shower, so apparently I was with wet hair and stuff like that, and then someone came to me, or he crossed my way and he asked me, hey, how are you? And I was very confused because I thought, like, you see that I'm right on my way back to my room and I have to get dry. And yeah, I was wondering because I wasn't thinking about that. So I just saw he was from somewhere in Africa. So yeah, maybe that's also even more confusing because I heard about these, yeah, let's say like greeting habits from Italy or Great Britain or something, like those places where people ask you those questions but they don't really mean to know what's happening with you. It's just like a formal way of saying hello and have like a good day, as we would say in Germany. So yeah, it's just a different greeting habit from what I'm used to. And yes, I was confused about, do we have a chit chat right now, or is it just, yeah, thanks, I'm fine, bye? And yeah, that was very weird because I was in this weird situation, especially at that moment. And I thought, why do you ask that? If we meet in the kitchen, okay, I get that, but on the corridor or at the hallway, I was really really confused. So in terms of the business relations, I could think that if you can already like start with different greeting habits, there could already be obstacles in the beginning of a meeting that you have to overcome afterwards, because maybe because of different cultures, people react differently to that, and they might be having, or they might have a special opinion about the other person from the first moment, even though it was just because of a cultural problem. So it was not mean of someone to not really want to know about your state of being or something like that. So I think it's really important to know at least a little bit about the culture of the other person you will meet in a business meeting, so you know more or less how to behave or what you can expect to be happening.
Thanks for sharing that, Tess. I want to understand this a little bit. So you are coming out and your hair were wet, of course. So this guy comes, and what he says? He says hi, and he moves on. So, but you stop and you think that he wants to talk. This is what happened.
No, no, he said, "Hi, how are you?"
Mhm. How are you?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
and
what he said. And he stopped. So he stopped walking. He didn't just walk by, but or maybe he didn't really stop, but at least I think he slowed down.
okay.
So yeah,
And
that
what
was
did
weird.
you replied to him? You told him that you are fine or whatever?
Yeah, I did reply, and I don't know, maybe I replied like too long because I think what you are supposed to be answering in such a situation is just, yeah, I'm fine, thanks. How are you? And then
Okay.
he's like, okay, yeah, thanks, me too, blah blah, goodbye. It's not a long chit chat, but yeah, I think I said maybe a bit too much.
Okay. And then he walks away.
And then he walked away. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was.
Yeah. Please go
Yeah,
ahead.
sometimes I was confused because he seemed to be a nice guy, but also a guy who likes to talk to other people. So yeah, I wasn't sure if it was just like a formal habit he has, or if it was a real interest in talking to me. Because I also experienced that he enjoyed talking to me when we were in the kitchen or somewhere. So that was like, I don't know.
Of course.
If he were like a completely foreigner or stranger person I would never have met, then I would probably said just okay, fine, thank you, and goodbye. But like that, it was more complicated.
Did you tell him later on that this is what you felt and you felt awkward or whatever or any other thing you
No,
told him?
no,
No, you did not tell him.
I
Okay.
didn't.
Thanks for sharing this example. I think this is a beautiful example in terms of understanding cultures, and all of us have been through these type of awkward movements. I myself have many times been in these type of awkward movements. I'm sure you guys also have been. You did something, and or the other person did something, and now you are not sure how to move on. So it is just so brave of Tessa for to share this type of example with us. Generally, people would not do that, but that is what we want to do. We want to learn from other people's experience and what is happening. But in terms of international trade, think about this. This is a very small thing. Like that someone is coming out and their hair are wet and they are going to their room. Of course, so they are not expecting to have a conversation maybe at this point in time. That is maybe their culture. But then there is someone else whose culture is that whenever they are going to see someone, they are just going to say something. Because think about it, if that guy did not say anything and just pass by, then again maybe the person who is coming out, uh, that person might think that, oh, this person passed me and did not even say hi or hello, so maybe they don't want to talk, maybe they don't like us, maybe they are rude. Anything can happen in that context also, so try to think about that. But if we are going to think about international trade, now think about this. A product is launched, a product or service is launched in a culture, in a country. Now those people who launched that product with the marketing lines, taglines, their advertisement, whatever, the consumer is going to have their perception from that. And the consumer might get confused and think something else, which was not really meant by that guy in this example which Tess gave, or by that company in the example I'm trying to give to you. Yeah. And then think about this. Did Tess tell him that this was the confusion? No, of course not. Why would she? She's not going to tell this to him, because then it is kind of more, it's okay. That's fine. These things happen. And of course, he did not meant anything wrong, and she did not meant anything wrong, and they will hang out again and everything will be fine, and no big deal about this. But this confused her a little bit. Same for the product. If a product confuse a customer, the customer is just going to go to the next product, next business. They don't really going to spend, especially if there are so many substitutes, which is the case in international trade, in international business. Any product you are seeing not just that one product, you are seeing a lot of substitute for that product. If yesterday we were trying to talk about pens, So yes, this is not the only pen in the world. There are many substitutes for this pen at the same quality, even better quality and less price. Yeah. So think about that. How you can lose your customers because of these not understanding small cultural practices. Yeah. And you may never figure out what really happened because people are not going to really talk about these things. Why would they? uh, they would never. uh, you have seen that, you have seen in life many times. I'm sure you feel some in some way about someone. I'm sure all of you have experienced this. I have experienced this many times. Like we feel about someone in some way, good or bad, uh, and but we don't really tell them for one reason or another. Yeah. So the confusion is there, but people generally don't really. Some people do. I'm not saying not, or we are not. Five fingers are not same. Yeah. So everyone is different. But generally speaking, if you look in your life, any confusion happens, anything happens. Many times, uh, uh, how you feel about other people or whatever. Many times you would not tell them. Many times you would not. Same way. Many times your customer might not buy your product, but you would never know why they did not buy. You would do your research, you would try to figure out why they did not do that, but what really happened, you will never reach out the truth. It's very hard. Think about this. Let's try to give some example of this. So let's say you like chocolate. So you go in the grocery store and there are different options for you for the price you are going to spend on chocolate or anything else. You can think about anything, ice cream or whatever. So you are only going to buy one chocolate or two. Yeah. So you just buy them and you go on your business. That's it. Do you tell the other companies why you did not buy their chocolate? Are you going to call them? Are you going to write them email that I did not buy your chocolate because of this? You would not do that. Yeah, you just you just buy the chocolate which you want. Companies would try to figure that out, that what really happened, what was the issue. And anything can happen. Anything can happen. People are mind is a strange thing. Anything can happen. And this thing. This is Tess side of story. Tess is telling us her side of story. What happened? Do we know the side of the story? What the guy thinking or what he thought after that? No. Did he tell Tess what about this? No, he did not. Right. So it is all in speculation, in the mindset. So these type of things happen in international trade. When you are going in different cultures, these type of things happen. So how to really understand the foreign market is quite a challenging task for international businesses. Quite a challenging task. But we will try to figure out what are some of the things they can do. Very good examples. All three of you have given so far. Excellent job. Next one.
So I have an example from my home country. Like I'm from Azerbaijan. It's similar to Turkey. And last time we were in Nuremberg and we were eating in a Turkish restaurant, and then it came again to me like when you eat there, there's always free food, like free bread, and then they bring you free dips and also free watermelon and also free tea. Like it is all on the house, and it is like totally normal in Azerbaijan that you become like that you get this kind of things, that it is like it should be there. It is even like worse if you don't have it. And that's something that I figured, like if you want to go to a country like Azerbaijan or Turkey to have your business there, even a German business, then you have to give them something that they get for free, that they know like, okay, this is something they will always get if they come here, and if they don't get it, they won't come to your shop. Like if you maybe go to
Of course.
a place where there are more German people, maybe then, but not
to places where there are only Turkish people, because it is normal for them to get something in a restaurant for free. Like, how do I say it's, I don't know, it's just
No, you explained it well.
yeah. And that
Yeah,
is
excellent.
something I figured, like, if I would ever come to go there, then I need to
Yeah.
do that, even if it's a little bit more money, of course, but it's just small things and it's just kind, and people would really love you then for that.
Oh yes, yes. This type of complimentary stuff, if you get it, you go to a place, and if you get something substantial like this, you kind of, what is that? You are trying to build a relationship with the
Yeah,
customer. So because anywhere in the world you would go, you would get your food and you pay for it. Whatever you paid, you get that. That is it. So that is, what is that? That is a regular transaction. What did you do extra? If I pay, you give me what I deserved. That was my right. That was you did not do any favor on me. Yeah, you are supposed to do that. But if you get something extra, what that business is trying to maybe do is build some psychological, emotional kind of friendship. So when you are going next time to that place, you are not just going uh, because because uh, you are going there because there is a connection. There is built some connection, and it has nothing to do with greed or something like that. That you are going to that place because they are going to give you extra thing. No, it is, you are going there without even thinking, because you felt good. You had that good feeling. It is
yeah,
not about, yes,
but in
Fidan.
Azerbaijan, it is like more now. It is more normal. Like, if you don't get it, if you get there and ask, like, "Can I get bread?" and they say, "Okay, it costs," then they will leave, because it is not normal to not get something for free. It isn't like only friendly. It has to be now there.
It
And
has
that's
to
what I
be.
mean. If you come from another country like Germany and you want to open a shop, it isn't friendly to do that. It isn't a choice. You have to do that if you want your business, like, to be alive.
Excellent point. So overall, so you have to think about these things also. Like, you are going to start something, you do it for one time, but then you are making the other person think that this is fine, and then they might do it again, and then they would ask the same thing again and then again. So how long you can give it to them? This is again another question to think about. Like, when you are starting to offer something in international trade, that might not be the one time thing. The consumer might get used to it, and then if you don't give it to them, then of course they are going to leave, and they are not, because they are now used to it. That is, and then over a period of time, Dan is explaining us that this is the culture of Azerbaijan now, generally speaking. I'm assuming that, and that is the culture of a lot of countries. Some cultures are very very friendly with their customers, and they would do these type of things. For example, in some of the Arabic cultures, they are like that. I've experienced it myself also. They are quite like this. Uh, Not saying that other cultures are not, but some it is just like that. Eastern and Western type of societies, the debate which goes on and on, that which society is of what type, and which society is of what type. American societies like this, we stereotype and do things like that. This is very interesting example to reflect on. So if that is the case in some country, then as Fidan has explained us, then you have to be very mindful of this, because if you will go in that country, let's say you want to open a restaurant in in Azerbaijan, and you are not into giving free stuff, you would have to think about this, that uh, how you are going to be successful, because the consumer is used to it, and if they go to any other place, they are going to get that free stuff. So either you would have to give free stuff or complimentary stuff. It's on the house as a compliment to greet the customer or whatever. But if you are not going to do that, you might have to think about some other strategy, which might be useful. Fidan, other restaurants, what are there any other strategies which they use to keep the customer if they don't want to give free complimentary stuff? Are there any other things which restaurants and these type of places do, especially if they are coming from other countries?
From other countries, hmm, right now I don't know. Like every restaurant that I went in, it was always something for free,
Okay.
or place or something like that. But it was always something for free there. At least there has to be like tea, because in Azerbaijan and Turkey you drink a lot of black tea to everything, like before the meal or after the meal, every time. And this has to be something that is free.
Very
For all.
interesting.
Yeah.
Good thing to think about, this. So you would have to think about this if you are going to open restaurant, and you don't necessarily have to give, if you believe that you are not going to give something complimentary, then you would have to think about some other strategy, how you are going
Mm.
to make the customer, feel that you are giving him something because that is what he is used to. It's quite challenging. And then you are coming from a if you are coming from a culture where you think that we don't give anything for free, and there are many countries where restaurants don't give anything. They do give a little sweet, some candy or something like that, but outside of that, they are not giving anything. So if you are coming from that culture, it can be a challenge for you. But if you want to be successful in those type of countries like Azerbaijan, then you have to do something. Just like Fidan said, that first he explained examples where they were giving a lot of things like bread is coming and this is coming and that is coming, but now she's saying that at least, at a minimum, at least, you have to give tea or something like that. Yeah, good one. Next one.
Well, I actually wanted to add another example as Annabelle did with the Walmart, and I just want to talk about another, yes, like failed effort of going international that is not really pushing through, and this is actually, or these are cars that are produced by US manufacturers in the European or German market, because I think that culture is not only a behavior pattern that we know, but also our habits or standards that we are used to, for example, of products here. And because when we look at German cars, which are basically driven all over the world because of their high quality, the US cars don't have the same approach of the high quality. These are rather bigger cars, but in comparison to lower prices. And this is not really fitting for the German or European market. And so this does not really work out, because in Germany, I would say we have rather, or we are rather sticking to our cars for a longer time, and therefore want a higher quality comparison to the US market. So this is a big difference, which is not really pushing through in the end.
The interesting point, Sabas. When you say that we are sticking to our cars, like German cars, for a longer period of time, what is longer period of time? How many years?
I think, well, of course, this is different from person to person. There are, of course, also person that, I don't know, buy a new car all 2 or 3 years. But I would say that now looking at my family, you try to buy a car that is just reliable and
Yeah.
affordable during time. So for, let's say, 10 years, for example, which you can drive for that long. So it should just work out for that period.
And which German brands you think are qualify for that reliability and quality which you are talking about?
Well, of course, Audi or Mercedes-Benz, or of course BMW. And this is just, I think, a good example. What we have learned over our studies is for a US car manufacturer, Chevrolet is, for example, one brand that is not really pushing through. May this be that the cars are too big, or they need too much gasoline. So this is just, yeah, the difference between those two.
Very good point, Sebas. Thanks for that. And you can think so that what is the culture of consumers or the market car manufacturer in US? Run a little bit search on that, and you will find out that the sentiment they have is that they want to make cars, and then they want to people to buy the newer model and then buy the newer model. So by default, they would keep the things not as as reliable as other countries would. For example, Japan. If you are talking about reliability or quality, uh, the reports indicate that it is very hard to beat Toyota and Honda. So why is that? And the principles of quality which we use, for example, Six Sigma, uh, total quality management, where they came from, all of those things are coming from Toyota and those type of companies. So and they are very well known for their quality. If you are, so for example, think about it, in the rugged mountains of Afghanistan, where there are Taliban's and the fights going on and all those type of things, you would find out that they are using Toyota. Why they are using Toyota? It's obvious. Right? Very hard that it is going to break down. On the other hand, the examples which Sab gave, absolutely correct example. These companies like BMW and so on, they do make good quality cars, no doubt about that. But over a period of time, you are seeing that they are including more and more technology. More technology is going on in the car. More components are being added in the car. So, and that is the basic principle of quality. That more the components would be in any system, more the components there will be, chances of breakdown is going to be higher. So you need to be more careful about that. And especially with the technology, you would see that these companies are making very hi-fi. BMW, Audi, they are making very hi-fi cars nowadays, especially. So because they want to please their consumer, and that type, and the comfort and the quality of seating in of course these type of German cars, you maybe are not going to find that in a Toyota or Honda. Not saying that they are not comfortable car, but when you compare the comfort and that type of luxury which a German car is going to give you, that maybe is not given by a regular Japanese car. But then you can say that Toyota owns Lexus, for example. So Lexus is going to give you some type of luxury over there. But still, if you are going to compare overall, generally speaking, without taking names of the brands, you would know that the quality is, so for example, a Range Rover. The quality, the comfort is there, but then is it how reliable it is? That is again in terms of durability. That So these companies are looking at these things, where they want to focus, and which market they are dealing with. So same for the point which Sebastian mentioned, that US car manufacturer, they think that okay, that it's okay if the car after couple of years or whatever, nothing happens to new car. No matter which company car you buy, new car is a new car. It is going to run for couple of years before it starts giving you any trouble. I'm talking about once the car becomes old, then which company might be more reliable. So think about these things, and then the consumer choice. As Sebastian, coming from Germany, he's telling us that the consumer in Germany is going to go for a German car than a US car, because they have experience, they bought in the past, and they experience that the quality is not good. Over a period of time, it's going to break down and other issues can happen. So they are sticking with that. And then you can link this with this debate also, that why these Japanese companies, or how these Japanese companies build their brand in US in terms of cars, if you want to think about that. For example, Toyota, we are speaking about that, how they were able to build their brand over a period of time, over years, in markets like, for example, one of the markets is USA, how they were able to do that. So maybe one reason is that they were not compromising on quality, not at all. That is why their cars are like, you would see on that, 20 20 20 year old Toyota running fine on the road. Uh, and back in the day, if you go a little bit back, German cars, for example, BMW, for example, older models, they were definitely more reliable than the new ones. And you can some Google search on that, see the consumer feedback. Overall, the quality reports are available online, very reliable quality reports. You can look them up, and you will see that what is happening. So over a period of time, maybe BMW thought that we need to put in other things. We want to put technology, and see the latest BMW models. What technology, mind blowing technology is in those cars, because they are focusing on that, and the consumers on their culture, they are happy with that. So very interesting examples. Think about these things. Next one.
So I think when you want to understand a different culture, you also have to be aware of the different way of communication. So especially when you start a conversation. So I was working also in a global company, and when I needed to call, for example, some colleagues in Romania, I knew that I had to do small talk before I tell them what I want or what I need from them. And when I didn't do the small talk, they were more, let's say, maybe resistant to deliver me the data on a short notice. But for example, on the other hand, when I called some German colleagues and I did some small talk, they were more reacting like, why are you wasting my time? Come to the point. What do you want? Stop, preventing me from working. So I think this is then very essential also when it comes to negotiations, that you are aware of the different communication styles in the different countries.
Very interesting, very interesting point Pia has made. Think about that. She shared the example that when she was looking into the culture, and if the culture required for a small talk, she gave the small talk there. She was able to get information or data, whatever she was looking for, very easily. On the other hand, if she was just asking for the, because in some cultures, if you are very direct, it can be rude. They can think that, oh, you just want your own thing, and you just want to move on from that. But one thing is, you need to really think about that whatever you do, uh, you make the small talk or you don't make the small talk. Whatever you do, you should be genuine in that. You should be truthful, honest in that. So if you make the small talk when you really want to make small talk, that is also, I think, very important. Based on my experiences, you can have your own opinion on this. I'm just sharing, like you are sharing your thoughts, I am sharing my thoughts, and together we can think what is the future direction we want to take in terms of understanding culture. Everyone have their own opinion on that, so nothing is binding or anything. I'm just sharing my thought that, when you are going to ask someone, for example, how are you, think about it. Do you really mean you want to ask how they are, or it was just just a line? Yeah, just like hi. Because in some culture they would say just hi, and they just mean that hi and bye. They are going on their business. In some cultures they will say hi, how are you, but they mean the same thing. They don't want you to tell your stories to them. In other cultures, when someone is asking how you are, then they want to know how you are. So you can maybe, so this is quite interesting. How you, so in international business, you gone in international trade into some country, and you have, let's say, customer service, customer reps, those people, uh, or if they have any complaint about the product or service, when they call you, and maybe because of outsourcing and those type of things, maybe, you are taking calls in some other country. You have to think about those type of things, uh, what you are going to do. These are very simple things, but they make all the difference. Just like Pia mentioned, that when she was making small talk, uh, she was able to get the files and stuff like that, whatever she was asking. On the other hand, when she was not, maybe not that easily. Think it's a small thing. What is a small talk? Small talk is, can think about that. But yeah, let me ask you, when you made the small talk, what was the small talk like? Like, give us an example. What do you mean by that?
So usually it really started with, hey, how are you? And how's the weather like in Brasov, for example? And then just discussed some 1 or 2 minutes about the weather, and then it was already done, and they appreciated it. But I also made the experience you mentioned that someone is asking you how are you, but you can immediately feel that they are not interested at all in how you are. So, and at that point, I was also starting to get annoyed, because if you're not interested, then please don't ask. So at least this is then maybe the German culture, but yeah, that I also experienced that way.
Yeah, thanks very much for that, Pia, for endorsing what I was trying to say. So Pia shared her example, like yes, she has felt it that, because think about it, if I ask you how you are, and you are going to know, from my sound, from my body language, you are going to know if I'm really asking or not really asking. So this can have some negative impact also. Think about this. Pi saying it was like 1 minute, 2 minutes. How is the weather? What's up? What is happening? And meanwhile, her work is being done. That is what she's saying. That as they are having small talk, the person is looking for in their mind. Or either they are doing it in the action, which you can see, or in the mind they are thinking how they are going to give it to you, and that these things good to think about. Very good. Next one.
Okay, so maybe I will continue a bit in terms of what Pia was saying, like first contacts with a business partner and negotiations. So in Ukraine, we always start with getting acquainted with each other. So it's like going out together, or maybe having a drink with our business partner, just to get to know what kind of person is that. Can I trust him or her? Can we proceed with our business? And this way, like it's very typical for our culture. But we always knew that doing business with Germans this way is a no-go, because they want to just get down straight to the business, and they don't want to waste time. So it was always kind of difficult. But I must also admit that lately, like last years, we were doing some negotiations with German. It has slightly changed, and we were also able to get them out for a drink firstly. And of course, like it made negotiations further on very different, because it was already personal. But I also get the point why Germans are not eager to do something like that, because they want to make these negotiations very objective and very kind of rational. So they don't want to make it personal, but they want to have business and personal relationships separate. But well, yeah, I just want to say that it's kind of changing as well, and younger generations, they are also more open to get the business a bit different as it maybe used to be, because as I mentioned, maybe 10 years ago it wasn't possible. Like firstly we conclude a deal, and then maybe we will think about going out together and celebrating that. Another point I wanted to say about the companies who failed internationally because of culture differences, and we had these cases already in our cross-cultural marketing class. So one of them, it was Gerber company, American company selling baby food, and they failed in Africa because they used packaging the same as they used in the US, with a white baby on the label, and they failed to do research beforehand and to get to know that in Africa on the label they post usually they print the content of the jar. So it was very weird for Africans to see a white baby on the jar and saying that it's like food for babies. And this way they actually made a lot of losses there, and they had to leave market for some time, because and then they had to change the concept. Another example would be the Coca-Cola marketing campaign. And I guess all of us remember these bottles with personal names. And of course, it was kind of personal experience buying the bottle with your name on it. And many countries like this, but it was a failure in Israel because Coca-Cola printed 150 Israeli names, but not Arabic names, because the country consists of ethnic that is like also Arabic. They are part of them, and this marketing campaign brought out this social dilemma, and it was a challenge and a big I would say discussion in the society as well, because it's the ethnical problem of the country, this kind of conflict and this multi-ethnical living in the country. But the Coca-Cola, doing this kind of interesting marketing campaign, brought this difficult topic to a discussion.
Very, very interesting points, Lena. All 3 points, we love them, and thanks for that. Let me ask you. You are coming from. I understand you are coming from Ukraine. So, is it true that almost all the Germans you are meeting, none of them really enjoys small talk, or you are meeting some Germans who enjoy to chat and talk and small talk and whatever they like that of experience with you. What is your personal experience?
Well, it really depends on the age of the person, and I would also say on the region of Germany they are coming from.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Well, young Germans, they're very open, and especially who studied international management, so like it's there is no difference. We can easily get along with them. But if there is I don't know, like a man of at the age of 60 coming, so there is not that much room for fun. You have get down to business and to have it straight, not wasting time. Yeah, and for us it's difficult because we are very, we're like kind of attached to this personal part of the relationships and negotiations, and it's difficult to have business if you cannot recognize what kind of person is that. How is it better to talk about this or that topic? Yeah, but
Very.
like as I said, it's different now. So these stereotypes, they are not true anymore, and you really have to be like more open and to expect that it might be different than the last time.
That is the type of commentary I was expecting from you, Lena, and thanks for that. So this last couple of lines which Lena mentioned, please make note of that. That yes, stereotypes and those things are there for Jamaicans, for Indians, for Muslims, for Germans. All those type of things are there, and we are not saying that there is no truth in that. Of course, if something is being said by so many people that some culture is like that, of course there must be some truth to that, but as Lena explained us in her last 2 3 lines, please make note of that yes, those things are there, but you have to be open about these things, because you don't know the next German you are going to meet. Maybe the German is going to become your best friend because they are very good in talking and stuff like that, so you never know. You can't really stereotype. Another thing which Lena mentioned, which is worth thinking about, is the region, which region of the country they are coming from. Because she was talking about Germany, so she said Germany. But in any country of the world, it's not about the country. It is also about the subcultures, which area they are coming from. That becomes very important many times. Very good. And let's talk about briefly the examples she gave. Very very interesting examples, both of them. So Coca-Cola, she's mentioning that thing. You guys remember that Coca-Cola came up with that packaging where they would put the name of the person also, name of people, random people, on the bottle, and that was quite an interesting campaign, and it was well received in many countries. But Tina is telling us that in Israel it did not work, and the reason is that they did not take care of the Other type of people, for example, other ethnicities, Muslims are there. There is a dispute, Israel, Palestine, those type of disputes. If you can read on that, that can help you to understand what Lena mentioned. So that thing they were not able to, the Coca-Cola, inclusive, making things inclusive, bringing people together. That is very important part of culture, bringing people together. So on one hand you are seeing this example of Coca-Cola, which is international business, international trade, in all sense of the word, in all meaning of the word. They are truly international. No matter which country you go in the world, you are going to see Coca-Cola, you are going to see Pepsi. These type of, in some countries more Coca-Cola, in other countries more Pepsi, but these are real international businesses in all sense. But think about this, even a company like Coca-Cola, they were not to be successful in a market like Israel. They did not think it through. So this links with the other point I was trying to make a while ago, that no matter which the company is, they are not successful or equally successful in all the markets they launch. Please think about that. So inclusiveness, that was interesting example. And then the packaging, if you think about it overall, what is wrong in having the picture of the child for the diaper, things like this? Nothing is wrong. You can make visual connection. But in certain market, because they are not used to it, they are used to read something instead of seeing the picture of the baby. And then it is a white baby, and in Africa, maybe the country where it is being launched, maybe the complexion is different for the babies and for general population. So think about that. um, Again, that is a big company which Lena is talking about, but these big companies sometimes they forget to think about these small things. So in your own time, please think about this, that what is the reason of this? Why these big companies, uh, these both example which Lena gave and other examples you guys gave, and you guys are familiar with other examples which maybe you did not share, but they are in your mind. The thing you should reflect on in your own time is that what is the reason why they are making these type of mistakes, and especially these not understanding the culture. As we all know, and we have established through your examples, that culture is very important. What is the reason they don't reflect on this, and they don't prepare for cultural differences, and why would they not think about these basic things? Do some research on that. Think about these things a little bit more, uh, in more depth, please, when you can. Yes, next one.
Yeah, so what I want to talk about is actually something about what you just mentioned with the subcultures and also the importance of regional differences. Because a personal example would be that there is a sport in my village, so it's a really small village, that already my grandma played. And then she was the coach of my mom, and then my mom was my coach, and now I'm also the coach of a group of small girls. So it's really part of our culture here. But for example, in cities about 1 hour away, they don't even know this sport. So it's really important to not just say, for example, the German culture, but there's so many regional differences and different habits. And if companies want to do international business, they have to consider that for every country.
Oh yes, excellent point. And as you were talking about Germans, for example, I met a German guy over here in my University of the West Indies. He was here, uh, and he was working here, and we made friends. Of course, I started the friendship. I went to him and introduced myself, uh, and we became friends. And we became very friends, and we were hanging out all the time and talking about different things, and just talking randomly. Of course, he had work to do, and I had work to do, and we were doing our work also. But outside of that, yes, he was having conversations uh, on all different type of things. And now he's gone back to Germany, and we are still talking. Not every day, but when we talk, we are talking for like 2 hours. Can you imagine that? uh, and just random things, nothing of real substance, of like nothing, just casual talks, just like two friends have, a regular people have. So he's not busy. He's busy. He's very busy. But he takes time and he talks. So if I were thinking that Germans are like that, whatever I could think, or Indians are like that, whatever you think, whatever your experience have been, then it can hinder the new beginning, because you are going with that mindset that yes, this nationality is like this. And as Lina mentioned a while ago, things are changing. Things are changing. Globalization, we were talking about in yesterday's session. The use of internet, it is exposing us to all different types of people, and the exposure is very big nowadays. So stereotypes, which we will talk about shortly also, uh, you need to use them in your advantage, I think. Yes, next one, please. Very good.
Yeah, so I also experienced one time a difference in like doing business when I traveled to Puerto Rico with a friend of mine. So because we stayed in an Airbnb, and the host offered us to rent a car, like to hire a car from him. And yeah, so we thought, okay, like this was the cheapest option for us. So we just said like, yeah, okay, we're doing it. And he said like, yeah, we can pick it up at this address. So we went there, and it was like a really small gas station and really small office. So we came in there, and the woman there was just talking Spanish. And so I said the name of our host, and she said like, yeah, like follow us, follow us. And but she didn't stop talking Spanish even when we told her like we don't understand her, like we had no idea what was going on. And she just gave us the key of the car and went away. So we were there alone with the car, and we didn't sign any contract. Like we didn't know if it was insured. And yeah, like we were both, like I was German and he was British, so we didn't know like really what was going on, and were really confused about the situation. But yeah, we just thought like, okay, like that's their way of doing business, and like just their culture is more laid back. Like here we would have signed so many contracts and forms, and that everything is safe. And yeah, for us it felt like really uncomfortable, like the situation that we didn't know really like what was going on. But yeah, in the end it was, everything was fine. And yeah, but it was weird in this moment.
And which country was this again? Puerto Rico?
So yeah.
When did you guys go there, and how was the trip? Tell us more about Puerto Rico.
Yeah, it was in February, so not that long ago, because I was doing my year abroad in the United States. And yeah, from there were really like cheap flights to Puerto Rico. So we just spent like 3 or 4 days there. But yeah, it was like really nice, the waterfalls, and we went to an island, and yeah, it's a really nice island.
Very nice. What was your best memory which you would cherish in your 3 4 days? What really stood out to you? Like, oh, this country has this. Uh, Anything like that?
Yeah, so one day we traveled like to this island, and there was a guy who like gave us his last coconut he had like for free. So yeah, like just drinking the coconut and looking at the sunset was, I think, my favorite memory.
Very nice. Thanks for sharing that. Just listening to that, Lara, that makes that is part of my favorite memory also now, that he was so nice that he gave you the last coconut he had, and he did not even charge you. That is so nice. That is very interesting. And you can link it with the examples which our other friend from Azerbaijan was giving. Very nice. But coming back to this example which Lara gave, is Spanish speaking country. Many times many people would not even know English, and they won't be able to communicate in English. Just like in Europe, there are many European countries where they where they don't speak English. They speak their own language, most of the people. So in Puerto Rico, they were speaking Spanish, and our friend went to that little gas station, and although that lady knew that these people do not understand Spanish, still she kept on talking. Maybe that was her, way of being friendly, being more inclusive, being more involved with you guys. Maybe that was there, and not many papers to sign, and just word of mouth is good enough, and that is about that. That is the culture of. So think about this. You are going into different countries. If you are coming from a country where you are not trusting type of person, and you want to have a lot of documents to be signed before you are going to start something tangible, and you are not going to be working in a country like, maybe as our friend mentioned, that can be one example. But not saying that people don't sign documents. Of course, in all countries people do sign some type of documents, but it depends on the transaction. For this one, they saw these girls, they said they look trustworthy, they look fine. Why to, what is, and this just, they are there for 3 4 days, and where they are going to run away, and they're not going to run away anywhere. And we have their information through Airbnb also. So let's just do it fast. Why to create hassle for them and for ourselves? Just let them have the car and let them drive. And interesting example, very interesting. So the same way in international business, these things are going to come up, and you would have to adjust many times. It is all about adjustment, I think. Yes, next one, please.
Yeah, so I also wanted to add a personal experience. So a few years ago, I worked in as a waitress, and before I only had worked in German restaurants, and the Italian restaurant was owned by an Italian couple, and their children were working there. So the majority of the people were Italians, and it was a very busy day, and it got really heated in the kitchen. And I think we Germans are very direct with criticism as well, but we keep it very based on facts, while I thought they got really emotional, and I felt very personally attacked, and I was really upset because I thought that I would get fired because it was so bad what I was doing, but it's just their way of communicating, and I had to get used to that. While, for example, the couple that owned the place thought it was weird that people wouldn't stay after they finished working, because they preferred when they stayed over for a wine and they just had a chit chat or something. Well, in Germany, we don't do that. And that's what offended them. And I was offended by that kind of criticism. So I think culture is very important in business, because in my example, it's only a small restaurant and it was a huge misunderstanding. But so you can only imagine what would happen in a huge company that has a misunderstanding while having international negotiations.
Very good, very good. What did you exactly do, and how did they react? What did they say? What words they used in reaction?
Yeah, as I said, it was a really busy day, and they were just, you're too slow, you have to be more quicker and stuff like that. And it was louder and more emotional than a German would have said it. So I
Yeah,
thought it's me personally, but
yeah,
afterwards I heard that it was just heated and they were talking with each other like
yeah,
that as well. So
yeah. And
yeah.
later on, you were not fired at all. You had your job, right?
No, 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 because it was actually fine, but it was a busy day, and I think the majority who has worked as a waitress or a waiter knows how stressful it is in a busy restaurant, and just things got heated and the people were stressed. So it
And
was
so you
nothing personal.
so you kept the job, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, okay. I see this is very interesting point that friends, when they were talking with her, like the way they would talk, she thought that today might be my last day, and I might have to find some other work. But that was just later on she learned that that is just their way of talking and stuff like that. And she very rightfully gave example that, think, imagine that if it is a international business, big company, how these different cultures would talk, behave, and what can be impact on other people, and what they would be thinking. They might be thinking that this would happen, but then nothing happened like that. I can give you my one of my example also. I'm asking from you guys for examples, and not giving my own example. That is, I think, not fair. So my first proper job after graduation a couple of years ago. Uh, so I had this job as a research assistant, uh, and I made some mistake. Uh, I don't. The mistake was that the what was asked by my boss, I did not do that in the same way. Uh, the task was complete, but not in the exact same way. So my boss calls me in his office, and he's sitting there, and I'm standing, and he did not even ask me to sit, which he usually would in normal in normal circumstances. And he started, he said that, I was not expecting this type of thing, and why did you do that? And he was really upset and whatever. And in my mind, I said, I don't think I can make into this office. This is not going to work. I have I have messed up big time. And I when I was sad about it, and I can relate with friends also, like in this, because I'm thinking that when that thing happened, she might have felt sad also at that time, because I did. So I'm thinking she might have also, but everyone is different, so maybe she did not felt that way. But I felt sad about it, and then I went home, and I told my parents also about this, because they were asking, what you are not looking very charming today, what happened? So I told them that this has happened. So they told me, you will be fine, nothing to really worry about. It's nothing, you are exaggerating it. I said, I don't think so, I think I need to find something else. And then later on I found out that I kept on doing the same job uh, for the duration, whatever the duration was. So these type of misunderstanding, and we can assume that this would be the result of that, but maybe the other person is maybe talking with us in a strict tone, maybe, so that we are more careful in the future. And same, it should be like that. But because think about it, if you start letting people go and not helping them in adjustment, then you will run everyone out of your company. If that Italian business is going to run out any foreigner who is not used to Italian pace of work, then who is going to work there? Yeah. So that thing you should also think about as international manager or something like that, that people are going to make mistakes, these type of mistakes. And these are honest, innocent mistakes. They are not, these are not things which they deliberately try to offend you or something like that. It is just a confusion, they did not know. So think about this, that in a international business where different people from different cultures are going to come and hang out and work and all those type of things, you need to give time for adjustment also. That is very important. Otherwise, if you will let people go, then at the end of the day you will be alone working in the company. Maybe. Yes, next one.
Yeah, it's not really a personal experience, but I thought it may be also interesting. I've been to South Korea for my semester abroad, and my Korean friends told me that it's, for example, really unpolite if you go home and from the company and before your boss goes home. So you never leave the company before your boss didn't finish. What is really weird for me, for example, because in Germany we have like regular times when you go home or when you start to work. And I would know that if I would do there my internship or whatever, maybe I just would go home at 6 o'clock or whatever. And yeah. And also it's quite usual that you go for a drink with your boss. And then it's really unpolite if you look each other into the eyes. You have to turn your head over your shoulder, and you're not allowed to look into the eyes of your boss. And in Germany you actually look into your eyes when you say cheers. So that's really different there, and I think it's also a big culture difference over there.
Which country you were talking about?
South Korea.
South Korea. So you said that a worker can go with the boss. Is that for Germany? In Germany, a worker can go for a drink with the boss. That is what you said?
Yeah, I would say it's okay, but it's not that usual. So if it's a really familiar team, maybe it's more common, but actually, no, I never went out with my boss. So
And
yeah.
and what what about South Korea? They are okay with this?
Yeah, it's the culture. So they actually go for a drink twice a week. So
Twice a week. That's quite. So what was your experience? How that impacts or shapes the work? Like when you go with the boss, because in Germany you have seen that you would not generally go. But I think sometimes people go out.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's okay, but it's not that usual. But I think in Korea it's more familiar that because they work so much more than we do in Germany. So it's
Okay.
kind of their second family, I think, the
Yeah.
working
They are
and
spending more time together.
yeah.
Yes, yes. So let me ask you, how was the impact on the work when you were working in South Korea? How was your overall feeling about that, whatever was happening? What were the positives? What were some of the negatives of that type of culture? Anything you can say on that? Because you have experience of working in South Korea.
No, I was not working there. I was just studying there, but my friends told me. So my Korean friends, which were working in Korea, told me that. But I was not working. But in university, I would say it was a bit different because the authority of the professors was much higher than in Germany. So when they asked for feedback, nobody said anything bad, or yeah, they were not allowed to criticize that much than we would do in Germany. So they were a bit more shy. And yeah, that's what I experienced. But it was
Yes,
just
that is.
yeah.
That is very interesting. That is very interesting. Yeah. So see this how these things can create confusions or something psychological barriers and stuff like that. You should think about that in your own time maybe. Thanks, Sarah, for this very interesting example. So look at this. Look at this discussion overall. You guys have given very interesting example: conflict resolution, negotiation. Walmart. You guys are talking about various type of confusion car companies you guys are talking about Azerbaijan, coffee, South Korea, uh, German, British going to Puerto Rico, packaging problems, Israel example, Coca-Cola example, and many other examples you guys are mentioning. I have full page of notes from your what you guys have been speaking about, and thanks for that. I'm sure all of you guys made notes of these things and try to identify what is happening around the world in terms of culture. These are international business examples you guys gave. Run some search on these, try to understand what is happening uh, from this conversation. I'm sure you must have you are going to draw your own conclusions on that. I'm not going to make a conclusion for you guys because all of you are you are coming from different cultures and you will be working in different cultures. Now it is your call how you want to embrace this discussion, these pointers which our friends have shared from their work and from their private personal lives. This is gold for us because they shared their thoughts with us. So it's up to us now how we would want to behave. So if you want to have a small talk before asking something, if that is what your personality is, yes. If you think that is going to help, yes. If that is not for you, you are not that type of person, no problem. You don't do that. You find some job which does not require you to do that. If you are in international business, international trade, you go in the cultures where you are comfortable with. If you are comfortable with signing not many documents and stuff like that, well, you go to Puerto Rico and stuff like that. But if you want to, if you are okay with having drinks with the bosses and those type of things, you go to maybe South Korea. That is the place for you. Same thing in international trade. You have your product, you have your service. There are 200 countries in the world. Now you decide which culture, which type of people, and even within, as our friends mentioned, that even within a country there will be subcultures. You can think about that and then see which uh, what is what. But from the overall conversation, I think we can at least take one point if we want, is that trying to understand the sensitivity how people behave. This is going to be helpful for us. Either we are talking about international trade, international business, or anything else which we would do in our life. So understanding that, appreciating that, respecting that, whatever you want to call it, it is going to take us far. So that flexibility is I think is important for success of international business in international markets. Uh, but you make your own conclusions. I would like that you think about these things in your own time and try to reflect on that. Let me share the screen with you and show you a couple of things maybe. So here it is. We were trying to look at culture in business. We were trying to establish why culture is important. What is culture and what is culture? I think maybe we did not define that. Let's define that. What is culture? Culture is, in simple words, culture is the way of doing things. How some one individual or a company or whatever, how do they do things? How do they go about things? What do they do? What they don't do? That is the culture in simple words. But you can look at the definitions and those type of things in the book and try to educate yourself on that. So look at this one, please. On your website, I've posted these things for you to look at. You can go through these things. Uh, why is culture important in international trade? It's a short clip. All these clips are very short, 2 minute, 3 minute, 4 minute, that type of clip. So please watch them in your own time. This guy really explains well why culture is important, and you will be surprised. He's going to mention a couple of things which maybe we did not talk about. Yesterday we were talking about idea development, how that is important, idea creation, where do good ideas come from, all that type of conversation we were trying to have yesterday. So why these ideas is important? Because you want to innovate, you want to bring in with new things, research and development, creativity, you want to do those things. So that is why you are looking at ideas. But as someone mentioned, I think yesterday also, that culture influences how we think about ideas. Just like one friend mentioned that culture is going to impact how we negotiate, how we resolve conflict. And I mentioned that today. Yesterday also, one of our friend mentioned that culture is going to influence how we are going to come about new ideas, how we are going to brainstorm, or either we are going to work on new ideas, how many ideas we are going to work on, and those type of things are also influenced by culture. As a matter of fact, everything is influenced in one way or another by culture. Whatever we do is influenced by that. So think about that. In that light, this clip, look at this one, creating a culture of innovation. I think this is very important clip. You are going to watch it in your own time, please. You can watch it even now on your laptops or whatever as I'm talking. So creating a culture of innovation. If you want your company to, or organization to, come up with new ideas, new products, new features, that is, all of that is creativity, innovation. So how do you create a culture where innovation, new ideas are going to thrive? Yeah. What are the techniques you can use? Our first friend in the conversation, she has posted the link for her company also, where she was explaining 1 hour break. What is that 1 hour break? And when I asked her, is there any negative of that, so she was saying, well, not really a negative, but a lot of gossip would happen and we would know almost everything, and especially because she was in HR and she would know almost everyone in the company. So gossip and those type of things would happen, but they also help in bringing in new ways of thinking, uh, new ways of doing things, creativity, and those type of things. uh, and they say that these new ideas come when you do some. For some people, they come when they do random things and unplanned things. Just like in yesterday's conversation, some friends were saying that they get new ideas when they are sleeping in their dreams. Some friends are saying they get good ideas when they are on beach and relaxed. Other friends are saying they get good ideas when they are focused on work. So different techniques. But this clip, when you will see by EY, creating a culture of innovation, they really give you some insight. And I encourage you to, look at that clip, think about that, try to, build those type of things. Small things, they are not big things. You will understand what she's saying, of course. So try to bring those things and see how your the culture of your organization or whatever you want to influence. If you can use some best practices from that, and just the next, just the just the next clip, when you will see that how purpose can drive innovation. Purpose. This one is fascinating clip. I really encourage you to look at that. Purpose, the objective, the ambition, the goal, how that can drive innovation. First, you are going to see, how creating a culture of innovation, and then, you want to see that how different things can improve or drive innovation. One of them is purpose. So look into that. Body language, our friends gave example. I really like that example where our friend was just coming out, hair are wet, and then meet her friend, and the friend is saying, hi, how are you, and the confusion and all those body language and different way of doing things and all that. You think about those type of things. This one you can watch in your own time. This is an example of, you guys shared many example. I'm just sharing one example here. You can watch this one also. Stereotype. Yes, this one came, I think, once or twice in the examples where you are talking about stereotypes. Uh, you can watch these clips in your own time. I wanted to say a couple of things. For example, stereotypes are always there. For example, Indians. Uh, I'm sure you guys have a stereotype about Indians, good or bad, whatever it is. I'm sure there is, or other people, or German stereotype, or Muslims, what or Chinese. This is how Chinese are, or Americans. You guys mentioned things about America in yesterday's session also, when you guys mentioned things about Honorable Trump and the situation in China, and you guys mentioned Russia. So those you have the perceptions, and you have stereotyped uh, things. So what I wanted to say is that use the stereotype in your advantage. That is what you should do. So for example, blondes. What are the stereotypes about blondes? Anyone can share something on this, like for example, blondes, European blondes. What are the stereotypes? What are the things stereotyped about blondes? Or anything, any stereotype you can share that, okay, Indians, what are the stereotypes? Or uh, South Koreans, what are the stereotypes? Any stereotype anyone can share which they have in their mind? Just one or two examples. I don't want to exaggerate the thing. Yes, Lena, please go ahead. Give us one or two examples.
Well, I visited today the Foreigners Authority office, and there are these notices how to avoid COVID-19. And the second point was do not shake hands. And it was hanging in every language possible. And I read the Russian one, and it was saying not only do not shake hands, but also do not shake hands and do not kiss. So it's kind of old-fashioned stereotype, because it used to be a Russian tradition to exchange kisses on the cheeks like 3 times. But like it's not true actually anymore, especially among young generations. So it really struck me, because I was like, well, it's not really a common way the people greet um, uh, each other nowadays. But in Germany, they added it specially, because it was like in every language, in French, in English, German, and it was just do not shake hands. But in the Russian variant, it was always also do not kiss.
Yeah, yeah, very good, interesting example. And next one, please, Leila. Okay, no problem. This is one is good. You guys can think about this in your own time. because all of us have some type of, yes, Leila, you want to say something?
I'm sorry, it's my microphone was not working.
It's
I
okay,
would
no
like
problem.
to say that the worst stereotypes about Brazilians is saying that everyone in Brazil knows how to dance, and it's a lie, okay? And also that all Brazilians like soccer, and it's also
Yeah.
not true.
Absolutely correct. And the other things, like they would say girls coming from, this country, they are like this. That is not true. That, or boys coming from this country, they are like this. That's not true. This very good example. So these stereotypes you would have all the time. So, but what I was trying to say, look at this, like in on your screen now. Look at this. You are seeing four different type of ethnicity and different. Lela, see how she look. She look different. How see Lara, she look different. Tina, she look different. I look, of course, different. All of us are looking different. But think about it. If you would just look at these pictures, and you would have think in your mind, oh, maybe Lela is like this, and Lena is like this, and Lara is like this, and Anna is like this, just by looking. Yeah, just by looking, you will just think how they look. Yeah. So think about this. We do this all the time on the campus. Have not you done this? Like you see someone from the distance and you say, oh, I think I should become friends with them. Or I don't want to be friends with them. You have not even spoken with them. And you just made up your mind just like that. You even don't know that you made up your mind. And these things happen automatically. So what is that? All of that is stereotypes. Some people would say, oh, we don't stereotype and that, and some people would say that. But think about it. All of us do have some type of stereotype. And another thing is that when we use this word stereotype, we try to think something negative about this, that this is a negative word. It is not a negative word at all. Stereotype is not a negative word. It is how you are going to use it. You can, so as an international business, as an international trade, you are going to use stereotyping in your advantage. Yeah. So let's say that there is a country where you think that looking at the picture of Elisa, you think that a person who looks like Elisa, if she is going to promote your product is going to do well because of her feature, because of her hair color, or because of her voice tone, whatever you are thinking. So use it in your own advantage. Use Elisa in that market. On the other hand, there might be some market where you think that Anna, her feature, her looks, her voice tone, whatever she looks like or whatever, she is going to be a good ambassador in that market. Yeah. So use her. Why not? Yeah. So you are playing with the audience in that sense, that you are giving them what they would prefer in that market. They stereotyping, of course, but you are using it in your own advantage. So I think that is very important. So you look at what the people desire, and you would see that in the commercial. Don't you see that, the products are for men, and it has nothing to do with girls, nothing at all. But there would be a very cute girl in the a good looking girl in the advertisement. What is that? They are playing with the perception, or the image, in the linking that girl or that celebrity. Other things, they do celebrity. What they are doing, they are linking it with that product. So yes, stereotyping, but you use it in your advantage. Yeah. So that is the point I really wanted to share with you, because many times you would see that people are talking negatively about stereotyping. I don't think that is the right thing to do, but you make your own opinion on this again also. uh, what I said, this clip on the, so first one was Jamaican stereotypes. If you are interested, you can look at that. But Lela gave us an example for that X people like football, all of them like football. No, it is not like that. Yeah, but maybe generally it is true. Some stereotypes, just for your fun or whatever. I have included this Jamaican stereotype. You can watch it if you are interested in Jamaica. But on the right hand side, this clip by Stereotype Can Help International, Business, International Trade, International Audience by Shira Moore. This clip where I am scrolling my mouse. This one you should watch. In this one, she's going to explain that how internationally you can use stereotype in your advantage, and think about that. And you guys have mentioned that this thing you did not use these words, understand your audience, but that is what you meant, using various examples which you which you used. So using this discussion, using these clips, the things we have said, some readings are there. Go through them and try to figure out the importance of culture and so on and so forth. Yesterday you guys were talking about ethics. If you guys remember, this thing came couple of times, 2 3 times I think, in yesterday's discussion. Ethics and sustainability came multiple times. One friend gave us example of that app, sustainability, which can read which product is how much sustainable, environment friendly, and stuff like that. So next discussion is on this. Please, conversation, I would say. Please participate fully in this conversation. This is the next topic. We would want to have a conversation on ethics, corporate social responsibility, sustainability. Can you guys think about any examples of international business where they are taking good care of ethics, or they are not taking good care of ethics? You can talk about that. Corporate social responsibility, can you think about any examples where companies are doing something to give back to the society in terms of fulfilling their social responsibility in their community? Maybe they are giving some underprivileged, they have a quota and they are giving some underprivileged some jobs or something like that. Maybe you can talk about that. And sustainability, environment sustainability, what are the things companies are doing to create that environment sustainability? In the conversation which I had with sixth semester, they gave very interesting examples. I remember one of them. One of the friends from your semester sixth, they mentioned the name of companies, for example Nike, Adidas, how they are using waste products, waste material to make their products, to make shoes. And you can run a Google search on that. Companies manufacturing clothes, companies manufacturing shoes from waste products. You can run a search on that. But anyways, please get involved in this discussion, talk about ethics. For example, these companies, if we are going to talk about Nike and Adidas, where they have located their plants, where they manufacture things in the countries where maybe they can take advantage of labor. What is that? Ethics. You guys mentioned some things in ethics yesterday. um, think about your own companies. It does not has to be international business. It can be any example from your own life, any project you are doing. It can be any type of business, because before businesses are going to go to international market, first they would want to become successful in local market. So you can talk about that. What are the advantages of fulfilling that? And sometimes people think that these companies which are involved in corporate social responsibility, CSR, they are doing those things because they want to just show the world that, oh, they care about society. And sometimes people think that they don't really care. It is just their way to attract people, that, oh, they are good people, and that type of thing. So what are your thoughts when you see companies doing anything good for the society, anything beneficial? Do you think they really are doing it because they want to do it, or it's a marketing gimmick, something like that? And think about this. You guys mentioned that sometimes people would ask, "How are you?" But you know that they don't really bother how you are. They are just asking it, and stuff like that. And sustainability, environment sustainability. Any example you can give coming from your exchanges coming from your visits to other countries, anything you observed, anything on these lines: ethics, corporate social responsibility, environment, sustainable development goals. United Nations has published their sustainable development goals. You can run a search and find out what they are about. Poverty reduction, more education, health. These are some of the things they are working on. So yes, please, that is what we would want to have a conversation on. Please go ahead. Sebastian?
All right. I wasn't sure if I already can talk. So I actually just wanted to say something real quick to the topic of corporate social responsibility, which is, I think, a very important point in these years, because even though very many companies, international companies, have their statements about what they want to do or what they stand for, but these are often neglected, I think. For example, if you look at Nestle, what we already said, what they are doing, or also what we also had earlier in our studies was the export or the manufacturing of arms, because there are always some cases where arms are used by, I don't know, terrorist groups or just groups that are not supposed to have these arms from, for example, German manufacturers. But on the other hand, what I actually wanted to mention is the company Lego, which is producing these toys for children, which you can build. I think everybody knows them, because they actually have done something very positively in the I don't know, in the last month, I guess it was in June, because they actually announced that they want to donate 4 million, I don't know if it was euros or US dollars, to the Black Lives Matter movement, or to the to just organization that help these Black Lives Matter, like topic, I guess you know what I mean, and will also stop um, the commercials for their police toys. So this is actually something very positive, which just happened in the current movement of this Black Lives. So this is something that I just wanted to mention.
Very interesting point. But Sebastian, what do you think these companies which do these type of corporate social responsibility? What is your opinion on this? Do they really mean to do these type of things, or this is a marketing campaign for them? And anything on that, if you can say, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, to be honest, in my opinion, I think that it is, of course, also a type of marketing for the company, because when you're now looking at it, it's of course just a great gesture of them and just a positive impression that you get of it. So it of course helps the brand awareness and makes people think that this is the right choice to go, for example, with this or that brand because of their actions. But it's of course something that you should not only like diminish to the fact of marketing, because in the end it's really something that helps, and that is actually something that in my opinion a company should do, because it's also about giving back to society, which it should be generally, because of course there is this relationship between the employee and the employers. So it's actually great that they give something back to the society.
Mhm. And in your observation, what do you think is you have seen the best example of giving back to society? Look in your life, look in your environment. Which company or which product you are very moved by their whatever they were trying to do in terms of giving back to society in any way. Can you think about any example or examples, if possible? That, oh, I saw that company and this is what they did, and I think that is very interesting, that is very thought provoking, or something on those lines. Or can you suggest any way that if a company want to do corporate social responsibility, maybe they should think about this, because this idea is interesting. Anything on those lines, like good practices of corporate social responsibility, of or good example you saw, anything you can share on that, we would be very thankful.
Yes, well, just because I mentioned it, Lego was just the first thing I thought of. So this
Yeah,
was for me like, yeah, the thing that came to my mind first. But in general, this is, I think, a topic that a lot of companies could possibly invest in when it comes to like um, minorities in society. For example,
yeah.
providing also work for minorities, or just yeah, engaging themselves in the topic of anti-racism. This is something that would actually be very beneficial in the society, in my opinion.
Very good. Excellent point. Can you elaborate on the example of Lego for those friends who maybe are not familiar with what they really did? Because you really like that example. So let's elaborate on that a little bit so people understand what you are talking about.
Um, how do you mean? What should I elaborate? Like
The
what
Lego,
caused it, or
yes, anything on Lego? What the way they were doing CSR, anything on that, giving back to society, what really moved you? This is for people who are maybe not aware of what they did. Please go ahead.
yes, well, to be honest, I think or everybody should know what is going on right now in the US, and
Definitely.
with yes, and therefore they just announced, I think, on Twitter with a statement, with a very short statement, that they are going to support black children and the education of children, I think. So this was basically something that yeah, was created by this whole movement and by the current trend of this. So by this is actually something that then like plays along with their target group as well of younger people. So they show that they really care about, or that they want to show that they really care about yeah, younger people. So this is actually something that just benefits their situation very well with what they're doing.
Yes. Excellent contribution to the discussion, Sebastian. Very good. And as Sebastian said that everyone should know about this, so I agree with that. Please run a Google search on Lego and see what are the things they have been doing in the recent past. Sebastian is telling us that they released a short statement on Twitter. Please read that. Try to link it with what are the pointers there. And another point which Sebastian mentioned when I asked them what are some of the interesting, exciting things which companies can do when they are looking for giving back to society. So he mentioned this, that minorities, and in any sense of the word, minorities in the society, giving them some type of incentives or work or something like that, that can be a very useful way to returning back to the society in terms of CSR and these type of initiatives, good initiatives which companies take. So yes, very good, excellent point. And now link it with the point one friend mentioned about Coca-Cola, if you remember, when she was talking about Israel, and when they launched the Coca-Cola product with the names they did not take care of, including the ethnic minority in the business. So see how things are linked. So yes, that is going to harm their business, that is going to harm their brand. Yes, and on the same side, they did not avail an opportunity to giving back to society. They did not avail the opportunity to be more inclusive. They did not avail the opportunity to complete their CSR agenda. And if you look at on the website of Coca-Cola, you are going to find. Please go on the website of Coca-Cola and read their corporate social responsibilities. There's a full section there. Just run a Google search on that and try to find what is the CSR policy of Coca-Cola and the things they are talking about, but they were not able to do it in Israel. And now, in your own time, if you are interested, you should try to figure out why they did not do that in that market. What was the reason? Is it that the lobby of Israel is very strong and they did not want to offend them, so they did not talk about the minorities? Is it that case? or some other case, we don't know. You would have to run some search and try to figure it out why that happened. So see the link. You losing your business, you are losing your brand reputation, and you are also not being able to give back to society in terms of uh, what Sebastian mentioned. Minorities is something which you can look at in CSR, giving them work and so on, those type of things. Very interesting. Next one.
Yeah, so I agree actually with what Sebastian said about social responsibility and CSR in general, that this can be used as an advertising way. I actually wanted to talk about Coca-Cola, because I just wrote a group seminar paper about the business ethics of Coca-Cola, and found out a lot of different things. So on the one hand, they are actually boasting themselves on their website with being sustainable and like including diversity and inclusion and equality in their business. And they also published some figures and diagrams on their website, which is quite good. But on the other hand, if you research a bit deeper, you will find out that they also have to suffer from a lot of lawsuits, because what they claim is not always the actually case. Yeah, but as you already mentioned a lot of things about Coca-Cola, this is kind of like unnecessary now. So yeah.
No, please.
What? Um, yeah, so yeah, it's just what they said, that there's kind of like the paradoxon between what they claim on the website and then what they actually do in reality. And like they claim, for example, with slogans like giving people options in terms of their products, and that the center of everything they do are the people, and then they claim that they are dedicating themselves to recycling and sustainable packaging. And on the one hand, this is actually quite real, and they do this. So, for example, they aim to package 100%. Like their packages are 100% recyclable by 2025, which is actually one measure you can take for showing the society that you are sustainable. And yeah, but as I already said, on the other hand, they are suffering from lawsuits, and they were claimed quite often and accused quite often. I just have to read. Yeah. To what exactly do you refer in the readings? Like I already mentioned one example for with the packaging that is one measure that they do.
Yeah, I just was thinking about Amazon in terms of ethics, corporate social responsibility, and sustainability, because I think everyone heard that the manager, Jeff Bezos, wanted to donate $10 billion. And this seems to be a lot of money, but on the other side, there's a lot of criticism as well, because he has such a huge income and just so much money that it's actually not that much he is donating. And I also read some articles in which they state that he doesn't donate a lot of money, so it's like it was time that he did like a big donation right now. And also his business, and so Amazon itself is not operating in a very sustainable way. I think you also heard about that, and about the products that are going back, what happens to them, and so on. So I think on the first side, it looks very very heartwarming, or how you say it to that, like a huge number, and that it's just a really big deal from him. But on the other side, it's maybe just to do something for the corporate social responsibility of Amazon, and because he has really a lot of money, and so it's relatively it's not that much of a deal, maybe, to say like that. So yeah, I think that's interesting that you always have to compare, and also think of the background, and what happened so far, and what is the factual situation around, because otherwise a number can't be really interpreted.
And you are talking about Jeff Bezos, Amazon. That is what you are talking about, right?
Yes. Yeah.
What issue, if you had to explain it, what do you think, the company is ethical or not ethical? What is your point on that?
Well, I would say on the one hand, it is ethical that he donates such a huge amount, but on the other hand, he could do a lot more, like on his own, and start in his own firm by being more sustainable, and maybe also do better paying levels and that stuff. So I think yes, it's really it's relative. It's not just one right or wrong answer, but I don't know. I think he could also do things to be more sustainable in the way he or his firm operates on a daily basis.
Very good. Thanks for that. Just run a Google search. When I ask you in our discussion, I won't be able to show you every time. I will just ask you to run a Google search, and if you are interested, you can run a Google search on those things. So, for example, I was going to ask you that run a Google search on this Amazon. Are they ethical or not? And then see what comes up. You very quickly you will find out that many practices Amazon is doing, they are not ethical. For example, you can look into this one, criticism of Amazon. Although it is Wikipedia, but then again, you can then double verify various things. For example, look at this: tax avoidance in the US, tax avoidance in Japan. All these type of things, and animal cruelty, these type of things. Uh, Anti-Semitic Semitic content, you can look into this. Differential pricing, you can look into this, and so on, and do further research how they are not 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 ethical. Other things like these ones, you can look it up and see, what are the things people are saying. And on YouTube also, you can run the search, and very quickly you will find out that Amazon, although they are very good business, very powerful business, international business in all sense, but many things they are doing are not ethical. Just like, just a while ago, Annabelle also gave us example of, Coca-Cola and these type of countries, and she explained that, the things she would read, their websites or other documents, many times the company is not doing those things, and they are not as ethical as they might seem on the first sight. So this is the dilemma in international business. We are not trying to, in any way, we are not trying to talk against these brands like Coca-Cola or or Amazon or things like that. Not because we are afraid of them or anything, just because we have huge respect for these successful people who have made it big in their life, and we appreciate and recognize that it is not easy at all. Otherwise, all of us would have created our own companies and gone with the business. but they have made it, so we have huge respect for them. But this is the dilemma in all of this success. The dilemma is that, just like we were talking about it yesterday, at the end of the day, the consumer is going to demand the product at the lowest price with the best quality. That is what consumer is going to demand at the end of the day. At the end of all the conversation, this is what consumer is going to demand. Give me the best possible product and charge me as less as possible. Then you can add the other debates, like for example from Azerbaijan, our friend is saying that it's the culture, give us free stuff. We like complimentary things to have after a meal, give us that. So this is the mentality of consumer, and people across the country, across the world, they like it when they are given something like this, when they don't have to spend a lot of money. Think about other examples which our friends mentioned from their private personal life. The friend who visited Puerto Rico and guy gave a free coconut, last coconut, and did not even charge. Look at that. And she remembered that for Puerto Rico. And I will also remember that. Think about these things. So, and then the company has to make money also. So to the consumer, they want to give at the lowest price, and then it's not a non-profit job. At the end of the day, a business needs to make money to even to survive. Otherwise, how the business is going to survive? So the business needs to make profit and give the consumer at the lowest possible price. And think about all the talk about quality from various examples. Sebastian was talking about cars, for example, BMW, and comparing it with US and all those type of things. Think about that. So in all of that debate, somewhere businesses has to do things which are maybe not ethical for you and me, but they have to do it if they have to survive. Alternatively, the product is going to be so expensive. Just like I was talking about it yesterday, that if they say this pen is ethically produced and it costs 50 euros, and this pen is non-ethically produced but it costs 5 euros, which one you are going to buy? At the end of the day, you're going to buy 5 euro 5 euro pen. This is why these companies give us, Nestle. You guys mentioned Nestle yesterday, also you guys mentioned that, today also you are mentioning that. So Nestle is a very big brand, very big international business, but they have to do these type of things. So this is the, as an international manager, as an international trade manager, or whatever type of job you would do in international arena, these are the things, conflicts. These are the conflicts which you would have to resolve with yourself also, personally with yourself, before you resolve with other people. Because you, as the manager or the worker in the company, you would know that what are the bad practices my business is doing, and you would have to sleep with those things, whatever they are doing. So you would have to think about those things in your own skin before you go into international trade and think about that. So these are very hard questions to really think about. In a discussion like this, in a conversation like this, should the companies do non-ethical and these type of things and whatever you guys have been reading and telling us? No, they should not. They should do perform ethically. But in the real world, when they go, can Nestle, how much they can perform ethically? How much Coca-Cola can perform ethically? How much Amazon is going to perform ethically? If Amazon is going to be very generous with their pay schemes and stuff like that, all the money is going in the payments for the employees, and they have a lot of employees. If honorable Jeff Bezos is the richest man in the world, how many people in the world? 7 billion, 8 billion, something like that. Out of 7 billion people, he is the richest person in the world. If he start doing all the things ethically, will he remain the richest person? That is the question to ask. I'm not saying he will not be. I'm not trying to promote unethical behavior or anything like that. But it is just, it is a challenge. It is a challenge, and it is a challenge in business per se. And this challenge becomes bigger in international business, because in international business you are looking at so many other things. Just like we discussed, you are meeting the challenges of the cultural difference. You are meeting the challenges of globalization and the other challenges which we are going to talk going forward. So all of those challenges, and within these challenges of ethics and moral values and stuff like that, principles, they come in. It becomes quite challenging uh, to deal with. So do some research and try to figure out what are there companies, and of course there are many companies which run pretty much ethically, and still they are able to make a good amount of money. So do some research and try to see what are they doing. And if you will dig deep, you will find out that even the most ethical businesses, they also have some practices which you would think are not ethical. This is something you should look at. Even the it is just like even the good people we meet in our life, even we meet the good people we meet in our life, they also have a little bad habit or something. No one is perfect. Just like that, businesses are not even perfect, but the stake is very big for international business, because especially in nowadays, where internet disruption, any comment you can post against a company on Twitter, and you don't know what would happen to that comment. People might start posing similar type of comments, and it might become a trending topic. This has happened in the past. Just on a Google search, where a unsatisfied customer made a posting on Twitter, and then the company was like, really, they really had to do something about that, because it just started trending for some reason. Airline industry, you can look at it, these type of things happening in airline industry. So quite a challenging and interesting. So look at these both examples which Anna mentioned, and he was talking about Coca-Cola, and Tess was talking about Amazon and stuff like that. Run some deep research on this. Go on YouTube and type Amazon unsatisfied worker, Amazon unsatisfied worker, or annoyed worker, or whatever thing on these lines. Just run a YouTube search, and you are going to find clips of people, workers, and saying bad things about Amazon, and you will be surprised. Just in 5 minutes, you will learn a lot that what are the things Amazon is doing which maybe they should not. Yeah, but then that is the dilemma. Yeah, it's a challenge. If they will not do it, then they might not remain Amazon. Yeah, next one, please.
Well, I was actually also going to tell about Amazon, and we have conducted a very profound research on Amazon, and I read the whole statement, their report on the sustainability and corporate social responsibility, and after reading that, you can think they are just perfect, because, as you said, it's a marketing. So they have a veteran program where they, for example, provide jobs for people who are just returned from the war, and they just after rehabilitation and trying to adjust to the society again, and they are trying to make them like really this transition from the war world to the normal society really smooth, and to provide them with the jobs. They also have a program for women, so they want to empower women working in the company and just in the communities they are having their offices. They also claim to be very diverse and promoting inclusion. And as well, they also claim that they deal only with the suppliers who pay fair salaries and wages to their employees. which is like, if when one think logically and analytically, it cannot be true, because if we look at the range of products, it's everything possible. So you cannot say they really checked every supplier in terms of fair wages and decent working conditions. So it's just a lie, I would say. But they stated to be true, and they also say that, for example, they have a program providing higher education for young Americans who work for them quite a while, and they um, provide them with kind of scholarships, or they partly pay the education for them to make them from like working in the packaging department to someone in the management. So they kind of empowering people. But as you said, if we Google any lawsuits, and especially the way they avoid paying taxes, so they claim to be really investing in the regions, in the communities, and developing them, but at the same time they avoided paying taxes, which were supposed also to support these communities. So it's very dubious, and some things, if you read them, you think, yeah, it sounds perfect, but too good to be true and too good to be plausible.
Very good. Thanks very much for this commentary, Lena. And please run a Google search on these words which Lena used, because I did not use those words. For example, just run a Google search, international businesses avoiding paying taxes, and see what comes up. And look into. Of course, you are going to go on the website which are more reputable and so on. You are not going to. You will distinguish between good news and fake news, of course, but you will find out so many companies. And this term which Lena used, thanks for that, lawsuits. Run this search, lawsuits, international businesses, and see what comes up. You would be surprised, as she's telling us that, and in a short period of time, you will learn a lot about these things. Yeah, very good, very good, very good. Next one. On a lighter note, you guys should have your picture, just like Lena, Annabelle, Tessa has their picture. So when I'm speaking, I'm looking at the lens, so because I can't see you, so that is quite boring. But I think if you have your pictures there, it would be better to interact. But it is up to you if you are comfortable with that. No problem. Yes, next.
All right, so I just wanted to add to the point with the cost savings and like the tax avoidance in big international companies. And I think that most of the time, the companies who are breaking labor law and who are tax avoiding are publicly owned companies, and that should definitely be kept in consideration because all the shareholders are demanding a profit or profits at large. And it can be definitely observed that all of those companies breaking these rules are publicly owned, and they are doing that in order to make their shareholders happy. So oftentimes CEOs are blamed, but in my opinion, it's definitely not at all their fault because they are forced to do so.
Excellent, excellent. What a beautiful point Luca has made, and somehow we were not thinking about that. I did not think about that, to be honest, because I was thinking about other things which you guys are mentioning. So thanks very much, Luca, for bringing that. He's saying that they all. Please don't forget that he's reminding us that these companies have shareholders, and they have stocks and stuff like that. They need to get dividends and stuff like that. So they won't be happy if they are not getting that type of rate on their investment, if the company is not doing that. So sometimes companies would have to do that for to make their stakeholders, shareholders happy. So that is very interesting point. So look at, see this, how these things are linked with each other. On one side you need to make your customer happy. On the other side, you are looking for ethics and corporate social responsibility and moral values. If you are looking at that much and company is not making money, then you are not just losing your customer, but also the stock price of your share. You are also losing people's interest. So the shareholders also are happy. But on the other hand, if you try to make money and you see what are the ways, and your accountant tells you that, okay, there is an offshore company if we go and make investment in that country, they will help us in not paying the taxes, or it is easier to avoid taxes in that country because they don't have proper laws, or they have laws but they are not implemented, because every country has laws against these things. Every country, all countries have laws, but they are not implemented as strictly in all countries. So accountants, lawyers, they are telling the business that you can avoid paying taxes like this and you can make money like this, and in that country the labor is cheap, and in that country you can you can give bribe to the officials, government officials, and get your amount. And in all of these things the company has to make a profit and then become successful in international market and compete with the competition the other people who are making the same product. So very easy to bash, very easy to bash Coca-Cola, very easy to bash Nestle, Amazon, very easy. But if you think about the whole picture, then you would be confused yourself that okay, if I were them, what would I do? What is the way out? It's quite complex. Yeah, that is
And
the nature of international. Yes, Luca, please go ahead.
what I also like to as an add-on is that yeah, as you said, all of these managers are blamed all the time, but in the end, like especially with those giants like a Coca-Cola or I don't know whoever, Apple company or call name them, in the end, the society itself is owning it. And that's actually what's happening with most of the companies. And
Beautiful.
society is deciding on keeping a stock or selling it, or keeping it for profit or not, and then and like blaming a manager for a decision, because like
Beautiful.
also these top edge managers are forced to, or at least they are expected to meet some goals, and if they don't, they would lose their job. So it's like a you die or I die decision for them, and
Beautiful.
you should keep that in mind all the time, blaming them.
Yes, I'm loving your way of thinking, the way you are thinking, and the way you are able to communicate your thought. Very nice, and think about these things. Luca is saying that at the end of the day, we are blaming these companies and whatnot and managers, but if you look back, look deep, it is the society which is shaping and making these companies do these things, because they are companies. If the consumer is going to ask, they are going to give us what we will ask them. What products they make the products which we buy. They don't make products which we don't buy or we are not going to enjoy. They change their products, looking at the trends in the market and the need of the people. So on the whole, society is also, in some way, we don't blame ourselves. We blame, uh, uh, think about, even our life, think about personal life. When something happens to us and we don't like it, what do we say? We blame other people. Oh, my mummy did this, that is why this happened. My dad did this happened. My girlfriend did this, that is why. My boyfriend did this, my friends did this, that is why this happened. All the time, generally speaking, people are not taking ownership of their own whatever they did. They are not saying, oh, because I did not do it like this, that is why this happened. No, generally they are outward. He did this, she did this. Generally speaking, I'm not talking about you guys. I'm talking about outside of you. If you look outside, you would see this. So same thing happens with this type of debate. We blame Nestle, but have we thought that why Nestle had to do this? What are the reasons? What is happening? What are the competitions they are facing? Uh, if they don't do these things, then will they remain viable? These are the questions to think about also. So always, I think, always, whenever you are in any situation, I encourage this type of thinking where you are asking yourself that what could I do differently? Instead of blaming the other party, always ask yourself what could be done, what I could do differently next time if I'm given the chance, how I would rearrange my words or something like that. For example, one friend mentioned, negotiation and conflict resolution, culture, and those type of things. In negotiation, when you fail, Don't blame the other party. Ask yourself that what you did not do, and try to improve that. uh, of course there are some times when you deal with people who are unreasonable and so on, but generally speaking, if we change our strategy, many times we can be successful, I think. The same type of thinking, I think, should be thought about, and please make note of these points which Luca shared with us. Thanks, Luca, for that. Next one. So as you guys are thinking, let me remind you what the discussion is about. It is generally about ethics, corporate social responsibility, environment sustainability, and the spheres of international business, international trade. You are sharing some example, business example, your observation, what you think along the lines of ethical issues, CSR, giving back to society, sustainability, environment friendliness, all these type of issues. Anything you want to say, you can add to that. Yes, next one.
Yeah, I think it's my turn. So when I think about CSR, as we already said, it's like a bit of a marketing trend for some companies. And what comes to my mind is the term greenwashing, which is then companies like pretend to produce environmentally friendly in order to to sell more. And what company I have to think of is, for example, H&M, because they have these conscious brand, and they, when you look at their website, for example, they do not really say what cotton they use, what kind or what things they do in order to make it more environmentally friendly, but I think they really benefit from calling this label conscious. And I think they even got criticized by the Norwegian Customer Protection Agency because of that, because they do not really use official logos which state that the workers are working under certain conditions, but they just call it that way and really benefit from that. And I think
Which,
this is
which Norway? You are talking about Norway?
Yeah, I think the Norwegian state did something against that because it's forbidden in their marketing law that you tell something like that, but you cannot give specific reasons for that.
Very interesting. Yeah, see, laws, regulations, that type of conversation also can be included in this. But think about these customer protection bodies. They are in almost every country. In every country, you can find out, these bodies which are formed, customer protection. So to ensure that the customers are paying the right price for the product, they are getting what the label says. Label identify things properly. But in some countries, these bodies will be working, effectively and efficiently and in the right way. In other countries, they are maybe not working as much, but these type of bodies are there. So think about this. Very, very interesting. Yeah, next one.
Well, I would like to give one example about what Luca was talking about, the tax avoidance. In Brazil, I already worked for a accounting officer, and one of our customers was they were selling refrigerators. And the thing is, like in Brazil, we have different taxes. So, for example, in São Paulo, we have one tax. In Rio, it's a different percentage. So actually, the company was selling less in Rio because of this tax, because they were paying more tax, and because of that, the product in Rio was expensive than in São Paulo. So the officer, we kind of like made some research, the laws and everything, and we figured out that if the company transport the refrigerator without the engine, it would not they didn't have to pay this tax. So they actually was transporting the refrigerator without the engine, and when it was in Rio, they were putting everything together and then selling it. So the thing is, like it was legal, and was one way that we found to for the company to win more money. But the things, like later on, I ended learning law, studying law, And I figure out that many times what is legal is not ethical. So like you I think you need to choose one side actually when you are working. So because like you cannot have everything at once. Like it's
Beautiful.
hard.
Beautiful, beautiful, lovely, lovely point, Lala. Thanks for that. Think about this. She has given us tangible example coming from Brazil. In the same country, two different cities, different type of regulation, different type of taxes, and then how that company uh, came out of the, that what the technique they used, that let the thing go without machinery, and we will assemble there, and this way we will be able to get out of that tax or tax avoidance technique. That is very interesting. And and our friend is not even talking about international trade yet. She's saying in the same country these things can happen. So think about that, how challenging it can be for international trade, where you are going into new market with all these complications, and then difference in culture, and then difference in speaking style, and then creating confusion. Remember that example where one friend mentioned the confusion part, coming out wet hair. That example was confusion. Another friend mentioned another example about confusion. So think about that, how you are going to deal with those confusion. And once the consumer has that confusion, are they going to back? If you are not giving free stuff, complimentary stuff in the Azerbaijan restaurant, and the customer leaves you not happy, and let's say you start giving after a while, how you are going to bring that customer back and tell them, how you are going to remind that person that, oh, now we start giving free stuff, complimentary stuff. That customer is gone. He might have started going to a place where he thinks he is treated nicely. He would just keep on going there. Why he would want to come back to you? There are so many restaurants. So that think these are big questions to think about, and reflect on the pointer which Lela mentioned very nicely in the last part, that she's saying that sometimes things which are legal, which are permitted by law, they are they don't seem ethical. And then she went ahead and she mentioned that sometimes you might have to choose between one. So either you are going to do things which are in the law, or you are going to do things which are ethical. So think about this, a very interesting point. Like, if even if something is unethical, tax avoidance, when you will read this, how companies are avoiding tax and avoid paying taxes in some countries, they are doing it by law. The law of that place allows them to do it. It's not, they are not doing against law. uh, they cannot do things against law, because then they are going to get into deep trouble. Sometimes they try to do things against law, but then they got. So when they are avoiding tax is using various techniques. And Lela gave us a very good example how one company was doing it in her country. uh, they are doing these things which law allows them. So you need to, so what I was trying to say is that if something is unethical but the law allows you, and you think that by doing that you will make money, and as another friend mentioned, that you have to keep stakeholders happy and you have to be profitable, all those things, then if the law is giving you the chance to do something, why you would not do that? Just because it seems not ethical, you would not do it. So in this type of conversation, you might say that yes, if something is unethical, and even if the law allows me, I will not do it. Okay, yes, okay, you will not do it. Okay, how many other people would not do it? And think about the money we are talking about. We are talking about international business. We are not when we are talking about one pen, we are not talking about one pen. We are talking about like millions of pens So the profit these companies make by doing the things, by looking at the law, even if they are unethical, just like the example Lela gave, they are not selling refrigerator or two or three or five or 10 or 100 or 1000. Brazil is a big country. It is a big country, and refrigerator is something which is there in almost every household, every other household, every third household. It is a common thing. You need it. So think about it. If they can cut cost by playing like they were, how much money they can make by that. And the law allows them. So why, at the end of the day, why they would not? Why they would not? This is a difficult question. So you might not do it if you have one refrigerator or two, but if you have thousand, hundred of thousand of refrigerators, and your accountant tells you that if we do it like this, we will save these many million euros. What are you going to do now? You are in the business to make money. Yeah, it's a very difficult thing to answer. Now think about, you guys were bashing Nestle, and you are right. I support you. You said, you did not say anything wrong. Yes, they are doing some bad things. Uh, they really are. But how much money we are talking about when we are talking about Nestle? It's a lot of money. So, and at the end of the day, we are everyone wants to be rich, and that type of mentality is there also. So then these things become very complicated. That is why you would read something in the books, you would say something in the classroom environment, in these discussion, but when you will go in the real world, even if you would want to do something like this, you will tell your boss, no, this is not the right way. He's going to say, go home. What? I don't want you. You go to some other company or open your own company or do something else. Here you can't, you can't do these type of things. I'm not here to listen to these things. This type of thing is going to happen. So think about these things. Yes, Luca, please go ahead.
Just coming back to the tax avoidance thing you mentioned, I'm not sure what to think about these tax havens all around the world.
Oh
Like,
yes, yes.
let's take the Swiss example. So back in the days when the European Union formed, the population of Switzerland decided to not join the EU and not to share the bank laws and all of that stuff with their neighbors. And the result of that, the result of having such a liberal bank law was that Switzerland became one of the most important places in banking in the EU. And I'm not sure if I should judge the Swiss. I mean, there is a competition of, I don't know, producing cars, producing apples, producing everything. Why shouldn't there be a financial competition around the world? And I don't know what to think about that. Like, for me, it's totally fine, and for the Swiss, it went out well in the end. Now, they are they are actually the richest country in the in the European continent. By just deciding on going for that way. And I mean, Germany could have done that as well. France could have done that as well. Spain could have done that as well, but they didn't. And yeah, so I don't know.
Very, very interesting point. Please run a search on this word which Luca mentioned, tax havens. If you are not familiar, I'm sure you are, but if someone is not familiar, please find out what Luca is trying to say. And he's mentioning a beautiful country, very beautiful country, Switzerland. But they have such laws where if you bring in black money in the country, in the banks, they don't ask you much questions where the money is coming from and what is the source and whatever. So you will find that black money from all over the world, people would have Swiss accounts. You can find out what is the situation now. Maybe the situation is changed, but Luca is talking about a couple of years back. The situation was definitely like this. So you can run some search on that. Tax havens, countries which don't, where you can just bring in money and do your business or build houses or buy cars or whatever you do. The country is not really asking you. The laws don't ask you what is the source of your income. They don't ask you that. So That is, thanks for the term. Thanks for using the term tax havens. We did not use that term. Yeah, think about that. So I'm sharing one example. Luca mentioned Switzerland. I am mentioning Panama. Please look into this Panama Papers. Panama Papers. Just you can Google search Panama Papers or Panama Leak, and you can look into this list of people named in Panama Papers. You can just run a search and you'll find, people around the world. Look at these heads of states: Saudi Arabia, UAE, Argentine president, Ukraine president, Ecuador. Oh, one friend is from Ukraine here, so maybe she can comment on this one. Ecuador, Qatar, Sudan, all different type of countries. Iraq, Jordan, Pakistan. Uh, Pakistan couple of times here, and I'm from that country. I was born there in Pakistan. Yeah, so these other government officials, see, all of these are linked with some type of corruption and all those type of things, and they took their money to Panama, and you can link this one also, Panama Papers. And yes, this is Wikipedia page, but this is authentic information. You can, if you are not sure about something, you can run a separate search for this, and then you will find out what it is, and you can also find it on the YouTube and see. So these things which Luca is mentioning are worth thinking about, all these type of things. And then he's saying why Germany could have done it, they did not do it. Spain could have done it, they did not do it. And we are not talking against these countries which are there in the Panama Papers. Like, they are beautiful countries, and UAE, Saudi Arabia, very nice, beautiful countries.
Like,
But
in my opinion, it's totally ethically fine that these other countries didn't do that. I mean, that's not my personal opinion that you should do it, definitely not. But yeah, why are we blaming them? Because, like, yeah, they are doing fine with it, you know.
blaming who, Luca? I did not get that part. Please elaborate.
No,
Blaming who?
blaming a country for having a liberal bank law is, yeah, kind of questionable because, yeah.
Okay, all right. We respect your point of view. Yes, he's saying that if the company has, but think about it, Luke. Like, let's say you are a country, and I come to you and I do some corruption, and then I learn that if I can go to Lela with that money, Lela is not going to ask me where that money is coming from. She will just take me and accept me with that. On the other hand, there is Lena, and if I go to Lena, she's going to say, where this money is coming from. So you are taking it from Luca? No, no, no. Return it to Luca. So think about this in
Yeah,
that way.
obviously that's the right way to go. Lena's way would be the right way to go, obviously, but it's quite, yeah, difficult to.
Can you guys hear what Luca said? Because I could not. So maybe Luca can. Okay, Luca got. Okay, there is a. See, the system is not supporting Luca. So system is
I was
supporting that.
dropped out. Yeah, the system hates my opinions.
Yes.
Yeah, as I
That's
said, yeah.
what Luca. The system is corrupt. They're not going
Yeah,
to.
I
Yes, go ahead.
somebody paid the system to drop me. All right. So yeah, as I said, but it's kind of, it's not easy to make up a mind on that, but it's definitely not correct in the international interest to be the country taking all the money, obviously.
Yes, yes. These type of things can happen. Yeah, yeah. And sorry, Lara, I used your name for the bad practice. I did not mean to. I just took it. Yeah. Next one,
It's
please.
okay. It's okay. I'm used to that
But I
when
don't
I was
support the
working
bad
for
practice. Don't
the
get me wrong.
accounting office. We did a lot of bad stuff.
Okay. Because your picture was there, so I just took your name and I took Lena's name. Yes, next one.
Hello. Okay, so I have a little add-ons on ethic issue because I
Yes.
just suddenly thought about, I think in Europe people care more about ethical things. I'm from Malaysia, by the way, so somewhere in Asia. So I think in Asia culture, people don't care so much about ethical things. They don't care if the company is doing ethical stuff or if the products is produced ethically or not. They just, usually buy stuff that is value for money. And I have some personal example, like, I grew up in Asia, and my I want to say about example of eggs, because eggs, there's different kind of way to produce eggs. Some chicken is living in the cage for the whole life. Some chicken is living in free land, and some chicken is, they eat better food, which is bio eggs. So when I was in Asia, I was not aware of different kind of eggs, and my mom always bought the eggs, so I never bought the eggs myself until I'm here in Germany alone. And when I went to buy grocery, I usually just pick the cheapest eggs, and I didn't look at the other eggs, and I'm wondering why the other egg is so expensive. Until someday somebody told me, the eggs, why is it different price? Because they are living in different condition. And then I'm like, oh, okay. And then now I try to buy the eggs that live in free land. But as a student, I can't afford all the food in bio products, So
Yeah.
if I can, I try to. But as a student, I can't, because bio product is more expensive. And I definitely believe the bio products has larger markets in Europe than Asia, because the price difference is really huge. So I just want to raise up that it also depends on the culture, if the people really care about ethical issue or not.
Yes, yes. Thanks very much. I really enjoyed this example. I'm sure other people also enjoyed this example. Thanks for sharing it with us. You are talking about Malaysia,
Yeah, I'm from Malaysia.
and this example is from Malaysia that the eggs are different prices.
No, the eggs in Germany. I don't
Eggs
know
in Germany.
how. Yeah, I don't know how is it the eggs in Malaysia actually.
Okay.
But the example I gave is Germany. I mean, because I didn't buy stuff that much in Malaysia, because the
Okay.
culture in Malaysia, we eat out a lot. So I don't cook so much in Malaysia.
Okay, yes, yes, I got that. So in Germany, you are saying that the eggs would be priced at different levels depending on which hen is laying the egg. Is it a hen which is in bad condition, or is it a hen which is in good condition? I think this is what you are saying.
Yes, yes.
And what is the price difference? What is the price difference between these two eggs? Because you said that the price difference is very much. So I'm
Yeah,
curious,
I
what is
think
the
there
price?
are three levels. The eggs in the cage, I think is €1 29 cent, and the one in Finland is €1 69, something like that. And the bio one, I'm not sure. I think it's actually, I'm not too sure. I think it's maybe around €3, something like that.
Okay, that's roughly speaking,
So
roughly
the
speaking. Yeah.
bio one is the most expensive one.
Yeah, so look at that, from €1, 169 euro, and then going to €3, almost three times or twice the price has gone up.
Yeah, this is what I'm not too sure. Maybe some other Germans can say the
No,
price.
that is fine. Roughly speaking, we
Yeah.
are we are not taking exact figure. You don't really mean you don't know the exact price. We are just saying that roughly speaking, the price can be double if the
Yeah,
product is, yeah, it can be double, and that's fine. And thanks for sharing this example. So think about this. Where the world is going from, processed food and all those type of things, to now going back to the farm life, the open life, non-processed type of thing. So think about this. This is very interesting. And if you back in the day, when the world was not very developed, how people were consuming the eggs. They were consuming these eggs, which are now €3, because people would have their own hens. They would hatch them. They would share with each other. They would exchange their eggs for something else they would want, and so on. But then the world developed, and all these things happened. And that now, the what is happening, the if you want a good quality, good an egg from a hen which is not mentally disturbed, you would have to pay more. Otherwise, you would be eating eggs which are coming from hens which are which are not doing well in their life. and, and think about it, what big impact this can have, because whatever we eat, it has impact on us in all sense. Uh, Whatever we eat, we become that. So when we eat, look at that, when we eat a banana, what happens to banana? Banana becomes us. When we have an apple, what happens to an apple? There is no more an apple. That the apple is us now. Is converted in us. Same thing for that egg. If that egg is coming from a disturbed hen who is living in bad conditions, what do you think would be the qualities of that hen, of that egg? It would not have good quality, good qualities. And then once you consume that egg, what qualities you are going to have? So yes, you are going to save money there, but think about that. But then the dilemma is which eggs people are going to buy, the eggs they can afford. So they are going to buy the 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 egg with which is costing them less. But then look at the impact overall on the society. What is the impact? So the rich can afford, or the people who have the means, they can afford the €3 eggs and stuff like that. But on the other hand, other people who are students, who will be rich one day, all of us are going to be rich. Right now we are in that journey to become successful. All of us are going to be successful. uh, we hope that that happens. But then this is the dilemma. Same is the dilemma in international business. So I want you to read with international business, international trade. So same is the dilemma in international trade, that the businesses which become big, they somehow, the benefits are for them. These tax as an exemption, they are the ones who get most benefit from that, because they are doing more trade. So they would get more exemption and so on. They would be, because they are big, they would be more networked, they would have better linkages with the prime ministers and presidents and the ministers of the country. So they are going to gain better advantage. They are the ones who have more money, so they can compete in a better way. Even if they have a short term loss in the business, they can afford it because they are big. On the other hand, small businesses, it is very hard for them to compete in international markets. It becomes very hard. So think about these things. Very interesting, very interesting, very interesting point. Next one, Linus.
Yes,
Linus.
I basically wanted to add something about what Lucas said. So he was talking about Switzerland as a tax haven, and back in the days, Switzerland probably was a big tax haven. But I think like times have changed, and
Yes.
Switzerland's maybe not the best example for a tax haven, because if we consider all other tax havens like Cayman Islands,
Yes.
Virgin Islands, or Isle of Man or whatever, most of the time those countries are just small islands with very low amount of population, and normally
Yeah.
they don't have enough resources there. So that might also be one of the reasons why, from their point of view, it might be actually ethical to use this kind of business opportunity, because they don't really have any other way to benefit from other stuff. So why should not use they should not use this business opportunity and adapt their laws regarding this banking policies.
Okay, Linus. So you are supporting what Luca said, that that if this opportunity is there, it let people use it. Let them
Yeah.
avoid taxes. You are supporting that.
Yeah, I mean, we have to compare. I think a lot of big companies, they do so, like Google and whatever. Like all of them find somehow a way to avoid taxes. Some have even tax avoidance structures in Europe, like Starbucks, for example. They have a special kind of way to avoid
Yeah.
taxes. They have a CVB4 structure, and they use this pretty efficient. So I think a lot of big companies do so anyway. So why shouldn't you use it? Because it's probably a comparative advantage.
Okay, very, very interesting and a good use of terminology, comparative advantage. Very good, coming from economics class. Very good. So you
Just
guys,
to add, so that you didn't get me wrong, that was not my opinion that it's all right to do or to practice like that. But I was, yeah, just kind of thinking about the ethical background of the justification of doing so. So don't get me wrong.
I am totally confused, Linus. I am totally confused. Uh, so see the this is the dilemma that you don't mean to say what you mean. You know that that is unethical, but then you are saying that companies are going to do that. Yes. So that
It was
I
me.
think
It
this
was.
is
It wasn't Linus. It was me. It was Luca. Because he was talking about my point I mentioned, and you said you're the opinion of Luca, but that's not my opinion, you know.
okay. I got you. I got you. Yes. Yeah. So think about these. Yes. Please go ahead if you want to say something.
Yeah, so basically, if I would be in the position to make the decision if I should have save taxes or not save taxes, I think all of us would definitely do it because we're talking about a lot of money, and why not? They should not save like hundreds of millions of euros by doing so, and even if it's legal, they're not doing anything illegal. So why shouldn't they take this opportunity to profit all of it?
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Good points from both Linus and Lucas. But think about it. This is challenging. What is ethical and on the book. And Lela said that sometimes law permits you, but it is not ethical. And then Luca is giving his point of view. Linus is giving his point of view. So think about this, and you guys have your own point of views on this. So think about this, how challenging it can be. And then you are in the team, and you have to make decision for the international business, and you have to make money also and keep the stakeholders, customers happy, and the cost of running the business, and how hard it is. Your competition is giving you hard time. They are coming with new products. Your clients are not happy. They want better and better and better from you. And in all of that, that Cayman Islands is a place where you can go and do something or something like that. This is a challenging situation. So think about these things. I think we had a very good, decent conversation on these topics. First on culture, then on ethics, CSR. You linked it with yesterday's session also. Thanks for that. And then you shared your examples. I really enjoyed examples coming from your own experiences, and I'm sure all of us enjoyed your examples. Company cultures, you guys gave examples of that. Various businesses, you guys gave examples on that. So please, all of us should do some readings on these things. Try to know more about these. Try to identify uh, more obstacles, more challenges, and more importantly, maybe reflect on that. What is the way out? Put yourself in, if you are in that type of situation, how would you deal with that? Listen to some, YouTube clips on these from both sides. One side is going to take one side, the other side is going to take the other opinion. Try to balance out your own opinion. Try to reflect on it, and then based on your personality, you would evolve as a person, whatever you think is right and wrong. And then wherever you would go, be it international trade, international business, or any other domain, you would take those principles with you. So it is worth reflecting on these things, and reflect on it. Especially that point, I would like to conclude on that point. I think it was a beautiful point that at the end of the day, maybe society is also has also blame, has to have take some blame on this, all of these things which are happening, because it is a circle. Things are very interconnected and connected with each other multiple times, going back and forth. You have to think about that. Yeah. So thanks very much for participating in discussion. Those of you who did not participate today, do not worry much that you could not see anything today, but please, going forward, please try to make some comments just like our other friends. Maybe one or two lines. You don't have to speak a lot if you don't feel like it, but share your stories. I'm sure all of us learn from the experience of other people. If more people will participate, the learning environment would be better and improved. Yeah. So please see what you can do. With this, I am concluding our official engagement, but I am here if you want to talk about something. We can talk about it.